awesome questions yesterday with Cameron. Cameron is my good friend, and we're doing a lot of stuff together. And a lot of things that we're teaching is similar. And so whenever people are asking him questions, I'm thinking, I wonder what's he gonna say, because this is what I would say. Right? So this is sort of like cool stuff. Well, anyway, I was sort of listening to all this, and I had my presentation ready, and then I decided to change it a little bit last minute because I sort of wanted to tune in this particular moment, knowing what you were asking for, right? So I'm just gonna like make sure that I focus a little bit more on that part instead of taking it broader. So before we start, let me know, guys, let me know, what do you think about the first 2 days? How was the first 2 days? What did you get out of it? I sure have my little notes, right? But I'm really, really curious, like, what's your takeaways? Where you at right now? Did it help you with anything so far? Let me know in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself and just say it out loud, also an option.
Actually, Mike, you were kind of still a secret in my group. You just freaking, you're still one of those. We haven't even gotten the intro part of yet. So I didn't even mention you yet.
Yeah, don't
So
worry, don't
we're
worry,
gonna
don't worry.
pick,
Let's just,
I
right now,
know,
I'm one of the gang, guys. I was
that's right.
a
This is a big
participant of this challenge
elephant.
just like you,
Yeah,
you
big
know.
elephant in the house.
we will all get to know each other a little bit better, but for now, let's just assume that I'm just another guy who was listening to Athena and Cameron, you know, and I would want to know, how's it going, right? Like, what do you think? I sure know that from the first day from Athena, like I just doubled down on where I'm going, why I'm going there. You know, it's so important for everybody, not just to know it one time, but sort of like come back to it every week, every month, every quarter. Come back to it, sit on it for an hour or two, make sure that you're still on track, right? It's like a never-ending story. You can't just decide one time where you want to go and then you're going there since you were 4, right? Because things are changing. So I think that was my biggest takeaway. Just don't forget to readjust the GPS. And when it comes to Cameron, like, let me know, guys, in the chat, maybe if you could just tell me one thing from Cameron's session that you think was cool, important, or change your perspective. Anything?
So Nicole said what she learned from this challenge. I've learned a lot. I will want to review the videos and notes and apply them. And apply them on a daily basis until they become habits. That's so good and important to make it as a habit. Because only then the repetition is matter of skill, repetition is matter of learning. That when you actually repeat it, you will get better and better and better at this.
Yeah. All right, so that's a good idea. Reviewing repetition, right? By the way, Athena, how long this video will be available?
So in my group.
Yeah, if somebody wants to watch again.
So it will be in my group.
Said.
If they are part of my group, yes, they will get to watch the replays.
Is it like there forever, or are you taking it down?
I don't think I would be taken down at the moment. So I would probably be doing some video clips and kind of just help people easier to access certain information they need. So that would be available in my group.
Wow, you're going overboard, guys. That's cool. That's really, really cool. That's fun. That's great. Day 1 and day 2 were highly valuable, and I need to review a replay. All right, Mina, that was Mina's feedback. So everybody wants to go and see the replay. That's good. That means there was packed with information. All right.
I'd like to say something. I'd like to say something. Yeah, this is Sunshine Deb. I felt like consistency was, to keep it simple, keep things simple and be consistent as possible. And then I also thought that, you know, focus more on the high ticket items, spend more of your time doing, you know, trying to develop the high ticket items so that, you know, you can keep your system like more simplified. I thought that that was really good. And I loved also too, when he introduced about standing against and standing for something. I thought that to me, that was like really, really good because it was like, it clarified, you know, like what you could have conversations about, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what you could really speak to your audience about, you know? So I thought that that was really kind of neat. And that came to me quite easily. And I'm not big with like writing or, you know, when it comes to writing, I just kind of like, you know, repel that. But I thought that was pretty neat.
Awesome. Actually, I wrote that down too, Sunshine, that the one about what you're against and what is your focus, what
Yes.
you're for, right? I
Yes,
think it's
yes.
super huge game changer, because if you have the both sides of this, then you're sort of like taking yourself out of this middle that is there's like gray mass, right? And nobody pays attention to anybody who is in the middle. The people just looking at the people who are either on the left or on the right, or on the right, right?
That gave some clarity. It really, for me, it just like opened up the door for a little bit more clarity, which I'm like striving for, you know?
Cool.
With being able to niche down, I'm striving for that. And I think that when he did that statement, I thought that was kind of neat because it just opened the door a little bit more for me to just gain some clarity in that area for conversation.
Cool. We're going to be talking about niching down today as well. So,
good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Super takeaway. Thank you for sharing that. I have not yet developed my group program. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. That's from Nicole. All right. Well, this is sort of like the developing a group and a program, sort of like big items. And hopefully this challenge, this whole if you put this challenge together, all 3 days will help you do that. Actually, I think that was the point of doing the challenge, right? At least will help you do the first step in it, right? Because again, even Cameron mentioned yesterday that you start with the bicycle and then you move on to the car, right? So you can drive faster. So we will definitely talk a little bit more about that, Nicole. Super cool. I actually wanted to ask you a question. If you still I'm curious if you zoomed in on that element. Cameron was saying, what's the hardest thing in business these days? You still remember? Cameron said that yesterday. What's the hardest thing in business?
Trust.
Let's see if somebody remembers.
Trust.
Trust?
Yes.
Like building trust?
With the client.
That's definitely true, but that's not what Cameron said, though.
Personal communication.
Yes, he was talking about that too, but that's also not the hardest thing in business.
Oh, the hardest thing you're talking about. Okay.
Yes, he said specifically on one slide. That's the hardest thing in business. I'm going to give you a hint.
Conversation.
No, he was talking about conversations, but that was not the hardest thing in business. That was about the skill set, right? Like what is worth
systems.
Learn.
Systems.
He was talking about doing simple systems, right? That will give you.
But getting a system that works.
The 80% of your.
Right.
Yes.
Getting a system that works.
Exactly.
Many of us have been brainwashed into thinking we have to do A, B, C through Z, and we don't.
Right, that's true. I can see that you all have like the different bits and pieces from Cameron's presentation. I want you to focus on this moment when he said, and he quoted, we are living in a times when it's the easiest times to be in front of many people. Remember that moment? But at the same time, it's the hardest time to win what?
Oh, attention.
Yes, exactly. The hardest
got
thing
it.
in business is to get people's attention because they have attention span less than the goldfish, right? That's what
Oh
he
God.
said. And it's true. It was tested somehow. A lot of people have been talking about this. They're giving a little bit different statistic. I'm not going to argue about that. Nevertheless, it is very true that people like Facebook alone gives that statistic how many time people spend on each post when they're scrolling through the feed, right? And it's less than 2 seconds on average, right? On average, it's less than 2 seconds that people give to each post they see. You can like think about it, let it sink. What does it mean to us, right? Man, if I only have 2 seconds to attract somebody, what I have to throw in there so people want to stay a little bit longer than 2 seconds, right? This is sort of like the whole game is all about that, right? We need to get that attention so then we can have the real conversation. So then we can build the trust, right? So then we can actually show them the offer, bring them to the table to talk like this right now, right? All these stuff happens only after you have the attention, right? So we're going to talk about that today a little bit. That's so cool. And I think, Martina, maybe we can start right now. We gave it a 15 minutes soft start so everybody can tune in. If somebody is not here, I'm going to give the voice to you, and let's roll with the flow. Let's see what's going to happen today.
Oh wow, like to completely throw me off, and then we started somewhere else, and we come back to here. All right, so what do so basically, I think we were, so you want me to start from the get-go, or we just skip right through your part?
Yeah, just go with your program like
Oh, okay.
we just started.
Oh, okay. All right. So, like you can tell, he completely threw me off or something else. So that way I had to catch the ball and kind of just go from there. So, as you guys know, Mike, it would be the one that's speaking to you guys today. So, really, the main thing is we talked about yesterday. I know a lot of you were eager, want to know how do I have that real conversation with the people online? I don't even know how this and that works on social media. I'm so new on the social media. How do you really have that genuine conversation and build relationship with the prospect and clients on social media so you can really complete your career transition to business? So that's what Mike's going to be talking about today. So this challenge, so you guys have been, professional and new entrepreneur and the business owner and just trying to figure everything out. But now through those 3 days, now now you become a new entrepreneurs or you're a business owner, the way for you to get your business idea out, to find the clients online, you need to become a digital marketers. You need to know how to communicate with people online, because I don't care what business you're in right now. A lot of businesses are moving online. So you might as well get on this train and then start learning how to do it. So that's why I invite Mike to be, like I said, I was going to have you guys guess, but look at who elephant was talking so loud. He was invited to Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi's event. It was in last year in the World Summit. So he was being featured in one of the success stories. So Mike is an educator, an entrepreneur, and a digital marketer, and a great communication coach. So the reason why I chose Mike to be in my challenge, because he's also an expert himself. So he was being contracted in an international school, travel around Asia, as an expert teaching, the students. So he understands how to deliver the message with people from different cultural background. And I'm sure he still remembers some Chinese, right? Maybe we'll have him deliver that in a different version later on in the challenge. Ni hao. It'll freak some people out. But yeah, so that's why I want Mike to be deliver this message for our group, because we are global and people from over the world and a different cultural background. And then you guys might be able to relate because he understand where you're coming from. And then to break down the social complex of social media concept to a very simple form, and that's the part a lot of people miss. And with him have an educator background, he
You're not
knows
up for
how
going
to
for a walk
teach.
today, are you? Oh, oops, sorry.
Nico, you did that to me the first day too. You said you show up, or you were talking to somebody else, but not this time. It's not talking to me.
Sorry, I'm used to the meetings muting everybody automatically. That's what usually happens.
Yeah, no worry. I know you want to talk to me. I'll get to you later. But yeah, so that's why I bring Mike to our challenge today for that reason. So, our goal today is really just to understand how to do the direct response marketing on social media, and then know how to find the clients online, because that's what a lot of people, a lot of you want to know how to do that yesterday. So that would be our goal today. And then if you stay until the end, Mike will also provide the extra bonus, the Facebook business checklist for you guys, and also the step-by-step, the video tutorial to set up and optimize your business, your Facebook for business. So you definitely want to stay until the end to get those bonuses from him. So, and you also know, by participate those 3-day career transition challenge, and then by turning your homework and play full out like what you have been, you have the opportunity to win one of those prizes. And then Mike is going to bring one of his popular course called Build Your Brand Like a Pro. And he will also help you build your Facebook funnel for free. So that itself, for people who are starting out, don't know where to start, this is priceless. So I hope you play full out today. And then for those of you, you still have opportunity to turn your homework from day 1 and day 2. Please do so I can put your name into drawing, and then Aiden will be counting the points and the geared towards your to the drawing. Okay, so now Mike, it's time to take over, and there'll be a couple more people want to join. So go ahead. Okay, let me stop sharing.
All right, thank you so much for this introduction, guys. Like I said at the beginning, other than that, all these amazing things that Athena said about me, I'm also a learner, and I'm also one of you guys. And one of the coolest things that I always want to do is to make sure that we're sort of like see that we're on the same path, just in a different like stages of it, right? And as Athena mentioned, since I was an educator for over a decade, traveling around Asia, pretty much a little bit of Europe, but mostly Asia. That's why I can see how this is important to learn from other learners and not just from the teachers, right? Because things from the perspective of other students might be just much simpler, right? And that's what we all want, especially listening to Cameron yesterday. Sometimes somebody gives you the best blueprint in the world and you can make nothing of it because it's just too many parts, too many moving parts, right? So what I want to do today is sort of like share with you a little bit of my story, because I feel like I'm just a few steps ahead of you. And by going back a few steps, you can just see what I did and model that, just do the same thing, right? That sounds good? Let me know in the chat over here, by the way, because I also like, it's always better to know who are you at the moment, in the sense of where are you at when it comes to your understanding of this whole thing. Like how long have you been doing this? If you can just let me know, like 1 year, 2 year, whatever, just put a number, like how long are you doing this? I would want to know this. Other than that, Athena mentioned I'm an expert too, and I send greetings to all other expats. All right. So if you are not living right now in your own country, let me know in the chat right now who's not living in your own country. Yeah. you hear my other half. You know that we're live. Jesus, crazy. Yeah, my second half is Malaysian, and right now we're staying in Poland, but probably not for long because we're travelers, right? So we're heading towards different destinations soon, and that's why I like to connect with other people who have the same dreams, same direction as I have, because that's just so much easier to discuss, to see what kind of challenges are showing up, and how to overcome them. Okay, so what do I got here? John, 1 year in this. Dion, 4 years. Wow. Dion, you're an OG. Since Project Next arrived, Mina said, so that means a year ago or something like
I
that.
thought it was May. Project Next started in
Around a
May.
year, maybe not even a year, right?
Yeah.
Nicole,
No,
preparing
it's
for
not.
my
It
first
haven't been a year
event.
since it started.
I'm a first generation American. All right, where are you originally from? Your parents, where are they from, Nicole? I would love to
Austria.
travel. Austria,
Yeah,
right?
that's
right
right.
That's
next to
not
you.
so far from me right now. All right, cool. So you're like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
I like him, but I don't like all of his movies. They're a bit too much for me sometimes, honestly. I also like Wolfgang Puck. He's more my speed.
All right, okay, I hear you. And now Georgia says last 6-8 months. Okay, so we got people here in the room, anything between like 6 months up to 4 years, and including people like Athena or Aiden. I think Aiden, how long are you doing this thing?
Since when the
It
pandemic
depends on the
started.
business. I had a few other businesses in the past, so let's say doing businesses around 8 years or so.
8 years. Oh, I think so. So you're the longest in this. All right. Do you guys be surprised? I'm actually not doing it that long, right? I started my online business in 2019. Before that, I was just a teacher in international schools, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and show my presentation over here. Where is this? Now let me just get back to my. There you go. Let me just know if you can see it on your screen. If you can
Yes.
see my screen, did I share it properly?
Yes.
Chat. Cool. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I like to see like if we're still on the same page, if you see what I see, because otherwise I'm sometimes talking and then people don't know what happened, right? So if you would be so kind and just keep on sending me some messages back in the chat, that would be awesome, right? I would really appreciate that. Other than that, you could probably hear that I'm a little bit sick today, which means today it's probably like 50% of my usual energy. Okay, so I am a strong believer in exchange of energy. Like what you're sending out comes back, right? And so I know that I'm here to deliver something to you, but I also have a big favor if you can give me some of your energy too, and that way I'll be better. Okay, so if that sounds good, maybe. To be honest, I just want to do something. I always wanted to do it since we already have a lot of people in the room. Guys, going back to the part of exchanging energy, like I said, I do feel a little bit lowered with the energy today. If you can just send me some high fives, just for a second, give me some high fives over here. So I feel that, you're on the same page. Give me some high fives. Thank you. That's awesome.
How about this way?
Yeah, that's awesome. If you
Did I
just
keep
turn
you
on
awake?
your camera for a second for me, give me some fives, it'll make me feel so good. Thank you, Lisa. All right, that's also another way. If you can't turn on your camera, just send some high fives and emojis in the chat. I appreciate that. Really cool. All right. Awesome. Later on, I'm going to ask you to do one more thing for me because I just, like I said, I always wanted to do it and I never had the chance to actually ask people for it. So we'll get back to it later. All right, guys. So like I said, 2019, not so long ago, actually, some of you are even more experienced than me, right? So that means we're riding on the same cart, okay? And it just might be the case that I found out something that you didn't find out yet because maybe you went a different way, right? And you missed some step. You skipped something that was actually important at the beginning, right? So what's very important that Athena didn't mention at the beginning is that when I started doing this, I was a social media hater. I truly hated social media. Like if you anybody here in a chat don't like social media, let me know, because that was me exactly. 2019, I didn't want to be on social media at all, nothing. I was using it just for sending pictures to my family because I was traveling a lot. But other than that, I never scroll through the feed or go in whatever groups or something because I thought it was a complete waste of time. And being a teacher in the school, it proved that to me that it's sort of like anti-social media because students, instead of talking to each other and developing the communication skills that they need, they're on the phones going through these social media platforms one from one, and they don't talk to each other, right? So I was like, no social media in my house, no social media in my life. That's BS, right? I'm not using it. Sunshine, that again, right? Like me, Dion, like me, again. See, so I'm happy to see that you are guys also seeing that there's a danger in social media, that it's not just all amazing. There is a dark side of the force, and there is a good side of the force, right? And we just need to be on the good side, right? So this is sort of like one of the thumbnails from my other sessions when I say that I went through this whole process from social media hater to social media CEO, right? Which is a short for communicate effectively online, right? So knowing that, I'm just saying this because I want you to realize that I was like that just what, 2 years ago and something, right? And then something flipped. I discovered some stuff and it changed. So it all started for me just before COVID. We were still teachers together with Nadia in international school, but we just started to think about like, we want to travel a little bit more. We don't want to be tied to a place, right? And it's going to be so much easier if we can have some online stuff, right? And then we can do it from anywhere. And we started to record some videos, and it's funny because the moment we started to doing that, COVID hit, and then the school that we were working for actually told us, now you have to do classes online, right? So now all the teachers had to go through this, the like new learning curve, learn how to deliver these classes online through Zooms and videos and all these different things. And we did that. This was our first ever project. You can see that we were like on it with costumes and everything. We're creating videos for kids, right? For school kids, that were engaging them into some movements and building confidence, right? And all that. And this channel is still there on YouTube. We're not doing anything with it anymore. But it's, I think it's going to be fun to show one day to other people how we started. And people loved it, people started to really like it, but that was not made. These videos were not made for sale per se. We were just developing the skill, developing the confidence in front of the camera, making it fun and easy for us to just perform in front of the camera. And that worked well enough to bring us like hundreds of views for our videos, but it was all organically from the schools that we were working for. And then I had this idea, okay, so how do I monetize this thing? How do I start earning money from this thing, right? That was the tricky bit, right? So I needed to figure that out, but I was like nowhere near to know what's the system, like Cameron said yesterday. What's my sales process? What are the steps that I need to do to find clients? I tried by myself first by reading some books and going through some courses. This guy that you see on the screen right now, Tony Robbins, that was the first big discovery for me. When I joined his class, I figured like, man, you're never gonna make it like this because it's just too many moving elements. So I went to his class to learn a little bit more about business, right? How to run my business. That was the first big discovery because I was sort of like this. When we started these videos, we we're so into the video, like making them super awesome. And we knew like there's nobody else having better videos than us on YouTube for children 3 to 6. We are so amazing, right? That was in our head. And why people don't want to buy this thing, you know, like we're gonna do this and that and that and that. Nobody wants to buy this. Why, right? And then I went to his course, right? It was already COVID, so it was online. It was actually a masterclass. And he said, you know what? It's just, you just have to know one thing about business, brother, and that will change your life forever. And the thing that Tony taught me is, it's not about, I'm going to go back in a moment to the second class. It's not about the product. It's about the client. Don't obsess on your product, obsess on your client, right? That's what Tony says. I had it in many, many notebooks. So I wanted to share with you like a very short story from my life. I was in China at that time. That's the picture from me being in China, guys. Anybody been in China? Let me know in the chat who was in China. This is a market, a vegetable marketplace in China.
Oh,
What you
that
see in
does
the
look
picture.
familiar. Looks like home.
They have these huge marketplace in China, you know, like big halls, and everybody have the stalls right next to each other. And the weirdest thing ever, you would never believe if you've never been there, they all sell the same thing. Everybody has the same thing on the stall. No differences, pretty much, right? Like sometimes, you know, they have some small things, but most of them have the same things. And I'm thinking, how is it like, how does it work? Right? Everybody sells the same thing, and who actually sells the most, right? And that's what it hit me. What Tony said, I went there to this market, I finally get it. I finally realized what was my big mistake, what I was not seeing before. So let me know in the chat right now, like if you're in a marketplace like this, guys, and everybody sells the same thing, who do you think sells? What sells? Nicole says connection sell. Each one has his client, right? But how do you get your client? That's the point. That's the idea, right? If you have the same, you have the same stuff, and you're in the same area at the same time, because it was like physical place, right? So you have the same people around that live around this place. How do you get these people to buy from you and not from the guy next to you? If you're attacked by a seller, that means, so are you buying from these people who are attacking you or not? That's the question. You must be better communicating skills. Right, yeah, definitely. It's got to do definitely with the communication, right? But it's like the point is, so what are you communicating about? Are you talking about your products? Are you like, what is it? Like, you have to have an idea, right? Like if I'm going to open my mouth, what do I say so people buy from me and not from her and from him, right? And I didn't understand that before. I was just like, yeah, Tony said it's about the client and not about the product. What does it mean, right? But I finally get it once watching these people at this market, right? What do we get from product? Well, actually, Lisa, it's not about what you get from product, because you get the same thing from my cucumber that you will get from Athena's cucumber, right? There is no difference. My cucumbers are the same, and my chili peppers are the same. And if you think that you have a better chili peppers, you're gonna have you really need to be like a con artist to tell that the same looking cucumber is better than his cucumber, right? Cameron was talking about commodities versus premium product yesterday, which is sort of like already like giving a hint of what we need to do. Nevertheless, it's like in today's market, guys, when we are connected globally to everybody, people can sell stuff from anywhere around the world and fight with all the price and fight with all the benefits and stuff that are coming from the product. We're all in the commodity market. Let's face it. We're not Tony Robbins. We're not going to have premium products just because we want it, just because we're going to name, I got premium. You still have commodity, even if you're going to name it premium, right? So what's the difference? Check this out. It's about being creative at presenting what you're selling, but not in the sense of a product, but in a sense of what you're standing for. And that's why I really like the fact that was Sunshine, right? That you mentioned yesterday, that you actually pay attention to this moment when Cameron was talking about what you stand for, what you stand against, right? That's your brand. That's not your product, right? And if you have a lady like this at this market who says, you know what? I'm growing these vegetables since 60 years right now. And this year, I think something happened because, you know, this and this, it looks a little bit different. And she's just like having a story. And people come to her stall and they just talk to her, not just buy from her. They just talk to her about whatever she has to say, you know? And it doesn't have to be only about her vegetables. She talks about all different kinds of stuff. You know, like how do you smile every day, even though the business is tough, right? Or how did you carry this whole thing if you're so small? You know, like all these different things. And she's just talking to people, right? That was the key. Figure out how to make people like you and not just buy from you. If people like you, they will buy from you. That's the proper path, right? It's not like, okay, buy from me and then I will, you know, I'll be your friend, right? That's not how it works. Okay, so we have to sort of like shift the focus from selling to figuring out how do we make friends, really? How do I make people like me? Okay, and if that becomes the focus, you will see for yourself that this is just illogic to talk about my products. And people are not going to like me because I'm talking about how great are my carrots, right? No matter what you sell, that's not why people like you, okay? And it doesn't matter if your product is premium or commodity at this point. That is not why people like you, right? Nicole says, service, give them what they need plus something they want. Yeah, that is definitely true. But this is already like the second part of it, right? Like once we're already talking business, then we have to follow up with them and think about what do they want, put that on the front, and the needs comes later because you know better. It's like with the doctor, right? The doctor tells you something, but then they also give you something else. So at the end of the day, you're feeling good, right? So at the end of the day, guys, I realized that it doesn't matter what you sell. It doesn't matter how great are your products. It doesn't matter if you have a premium or commodity, even though obviously it helps if you have a premium because, you know, like for all the reasons Cameron was talking about yesterday, I'm not arguing with that this doesn't matter. But at the beginning, when you're starting, when you're looking for your first clients, I figured I'm not like even close to these people who have these premium products, and I'm not going to pretend like I have something better because it's not true, right? I don't. I have a similar thing, right? I can be more committed. I can tell people I'm going to like work twice as hard as anybody else if you buy from me, right? I can do that, but it's still going to be like, you know, trying to prove somebody that I'm a little bit better than somebody else, instead of just trying to make people like me, and then they just gonna buy from me, right? Because they like me. So I figured, okay, I need to find people who are not just good at creating premium products, but I need to start following people who are good at selling those products and reaching the people who need those products. And those are not entrepreneurs. So this is the moment when you actually have to take off your entrepreneur hat and put on your marketer hat, because those are marketers who are selling and not entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs know nothing about sales unless they're very deliberate about that they want to be good at sales. So there are two options. A good entrepreneur either learn about how to be a marketer or hires a manager who is the marketer. Right? Two options. If you don't have a marketing plan on board, you're gone, even if you have a premium best in the world product, right? So I went to people who are actually best in business, and these three guys, those are my biggest mentors when it comes to marketing. Let me know in the chat, by the way, if any of you knows these guys, because I also kind of want to see if we're coming from the same background, if maybe you've heard from any of him. I know that some of you were like Mina, for instance, right? You went through Dean's program, right? I don't know if you heard about Russell, or maybe you heard about Gary Vaynerchuk. So I would really want to know. Cool. Yes. Georgia says Dean Graziosi, Dion. Yes, for what, Dion? You know all three of them or just some? Went through Project Next. So Project Next is Dean's product. I don't know Gary, Mina said. Yeah, Gary is like a little bit different camp, but still one of the biggest digital marketer in the world right now, Gary Vaynerchuk, running Vayner's Media, right? He's working with companies like Coca-Cola and stuff, right? But he's also omnipresent on all different platforms on social media. And he's the guy who actually invested in TikTok when the TikTok was tiny. And you know what happened with TikTok, right? So this guy is sort of like a visionary person when it comes to social media. All right, that's cool. Lisa says Gary V is an excellent marketer. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Heard from Dean and Russell. Cool. All right, guys. So that means you actually also know these people, right? So you've heard some stuff from him. That's cool, because you're gonna have same language. And if you didn't hear from any of, there's anybody in the room, guys, who didn't hear from any of them, just type in 1. If there is anybody who don't know any of these people, that's also gonna be helpful. John Parayano, don't know any of these people. Okay, so we have John. That's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter, because I'm still going to share with you just what happened with me and what I get from these guys. And Bernie also said didn't hear from any of them. That's cool. That doesn't change anything for us, right? So the cool thing is, just know, guys, that these are big dogs. These are like the best people in the business when it comes to online marketing. They're earning millions, if not billions. Like Gary Vee probably is in the billion sector already. And I went to all their classes and all their master classes and some of the coaching programs as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you like everything on the plate today, the best bits, so you know what I discovered. Okay. Now, one thing that I had from Russell, the biggest thing was I definitely need to change my attitude to social media at that point, right? And Russell gave me the recipe, right? Because we had the product, right? We still didn't realize, okay, so what do I do with this thing, right? Like, how do I? Sorry, I think I should be here. How do I become a person that people like on social media? Obviously, if you're like coming on social media with the attitude, I don't like it, this BS, I don't want to be here, right? This is a waste of time, then nothing is going to happen. right? So the lesson number one I've learned from Russell was I need to change how I think about social media, because there is a way to use it without being used by it. Okay, that's what hooked me, since I didn't want to be used by social media, but I needed to use it, right? And he had a way how to do it, right? And then the other lesson from the other two guys, from Gary and from Dean, the biggest takeaway from these two guys that I get was, you gotta niche down as much as possible. And I really resonated with that message as well as a teacher in a school, because I knew that whenever I was addressing the whole classroom of my students and I wanted something from them, even though they're all the same age, even though they're all my ideal clients because they're in the same classroom, the same age, and I'm teaching the same thing, they all want different things and they don't listen the same way, right? So if I talk to all of them, nobody listens to me and nobody actually do what I ask them to do. But if I go to individual student and talk to the individual student using their language and listening to what they actually are interested in this particular second, then I could have my way around to sort of like drool them into my world and tell, and they would do it, right? And they would actually got interested in what I wanted them to do, right? So that's why I resonated with these guys. And it's counterintuitive. This is something that people fight with because it's not logic to think about the less people you have, the more successful, the less people you're marketing to, the more successful you will be. People say the more the better, right? If my product fits everybody, that's better, right? Because I have more possibilities that somebody will buy from me. Not true. In an online world, is not true, right? And I'm not going to go into like very detail of it. Why? Because that would take us all day. But that's what it is. That's what these guys says. Let's listen to the best in business, right? Then the more niched avatar, the ideal client, the more descriptive language you will use, the easier it will be for you to communicate with that person, right? That makes sense? So now I actually was like, yeah, super pumped. I got my two biggest lessons. I have to niche down, figure out what I need to, who I need on social media. And I was starting to do it. I bought like ClickFunnels and you started to build the websites and pretty much just went for the car, to be honest. Remember, I'm using the car analogy, because that's the part when you have to, you know, you have to build the car with 500 pieces instead of, you know, in opposite to a bike that has only like whatever less, right? So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have the funnel and the landing page, the opt-in page and the sales page, and it's gonna be so beautiful. And I already have my amazing courses and videos. That's gonna be perfect. And I already know from these people who are super successful how to market, how to talk to people, everything beautiful, right? And I'm building. And in all their videos, they're saying, you know what, we're gonna give you like, that's only gonna be 5 minutes a day. You have to be here and here and here and here. And then you have to multiply everything. And I'm spending like 12 hours a day on social media and I'm still not earning money, right? I'm like, man, that's something is still not working, right? That was the time. I can see you, Mina, yeah? That you had that the same experience? Anybody? 5 minutes a day is not true. Well, it can be true the moment you have like, you know, automated processes and it's all ready and done and it's, you know, like either robots or some VAs are working for you, right? Then it's possible, but not when you're starting, okay? Not when you're starting. That's definitely a false information. Nevertheless, guys, I was like very committed to do it because I actually like I'm very impulsive. And when I went to Tony Robbins' event and he told me, burn the boats and take the island, I did it. I just did it. I just quit my job in the school, right? And you know, I like 100% into this. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna work. and let's go with it, right? And I bought, like I said, I bought everything. I was spending around $1,000 a month for all the courses, software, and like bill stuff related to my business, right? Around 1,000 a month. And I was doing it for 6 months straight. After 6 months, I figured I can't do it anymore because I don't have any money, right? Because I still didn't have clients back, right? And it felt like I'm so close. So close. It's just like you just inches from gold, right? Just keep on doing. But for me, it was like no more money. I can't do it anymore, right? So either it's working right now, or I have to change the way I think about it. And I had to discover this one other thing, because I was still building a car. This is my, like on the left side, you see that this is my representation of the car. That's the maze of all the connections and things that I have to build before my thing is gonna work. But I needed to think smaller. I figured I can't be Tony Robbins or Dean or whoever now, because I just literally, I want to find my first client. I want to find one person that wants to buy something from me, right? Forget about 100, 500, 1,000, whatever. I want to find one person who wants something from me. I was at that point, right? Give me the proof that it's freaking working. Because at this point, I did almost like 98% of everything, and I have not even one client. That's not how it's supposed to be, right? So I met these other people who are students of these bigger people, right? The two on the bottom, Rachel Miller and Peng Jun, right? They were also students of these bigger guys that I showed you before. They showed me an easier way. They showed me how to think smaller, right? Instead of trying to like go all in and try to do everything in one go, let's just like find the first 10 clients maybe. Let's just have one goal and put this goal in a time frame, and then you get there, and then from there you can just grow and make something bigger, right? And I try to simplify my system, right? Make it faster, easier, and without all the fancy stuff. Just give me the first 10 clients and I'll be happy for now. Okay? And I did that. That was the biggest discovery that these two guys gave me. I needed Brendon Burchard and Jim Edwards, because they were sort of like my mind mentors, right? Athena was talking about it. It's like all about mindset as well, right? It's like you can have the best strategy, but if your mind sucks, you don't want to do anything, right? You stop believing that it's going to work, you're not going to do anything. So Brendon was my guy, right? Like he's a high performance coach, but he's also a life coach. And by listening to Brendon, I was like, keep on pumping my mindset, right? That it's going to work, it's going to be good, like the life is good, like you still have so much things. So these people actually help. And Jim, on the other hand, on the other side over here, he's one of the biggest copywriter, one most well-known copywriter in the world right now, right? So that he was helping me language-wise and with like taking what's in my head and put it on the paper or internet, right? So with these guys, I finally figured out, guys, wait, I think I went too far. I finally figured out what this whole thing is all about. How do you start this thing without building the car, right? This is my group. I think this picture was made a couple days ago. Right now, 707 members. I built a group, right? The group started to grow. People started to come in more and more and more and more. Not only that, but people started to buy things from me, right? One by one, like they were buying things from me. This is like July 7th, July 29th. I earned $3,235 US dollars within, what is it? Like around a month, right? A little bit more than that. But then the next one, like August 3rd, September 6th. So this is a month and 3 days, $3,980, right? November 11th to December 14th, $5,173. This is my PayPal account, what I'm showing you over here, right? I'm showing it not to show up, but I just want to show you this worked. I was like, man, it's worked. And I didn't even have a website. I still don't have a website, right? I have no website. I have no software. that like paid besides Canva, right? But Canva is like very cheap software, right? But to be honest, I could literally do this even if I don't have the Canva and some Zoom, for instance, right? I paid for Zoom, but you can still do it even if you're not paying, because Zoom has a free option too, right? So I did it the simplest possible way. I think I didn't actually even build a bike, to be honest. But it worked. It brought the first client and they liked me and they bought from me, right? So now that was not even the coolest part, because obviously I was like super happy. People are paying me, and that was like, you know, full-time salary, right? $5,000, $3,000. Maybe that's not like a super huge in US, but when I lived in Malaysia at that point, so for me it was like, woo, I'm good, right? That's like 12,000 in Malaysian currency, right, or even more. So I was really happy. I was working at that point pretty close with Dean's and Tony's community, and this email came to me. You know, they sent me an email. They had a World Summit, which is pretty much the biggest online event for entrepreneurs. I think it was over 30,000 people in this event, and they sent a video showing like what I did, right, like what worked for me. And they sent me this email that your video was chosen and you're going to be shown in our event. I was like, what? For real? No way. But it happened, right? And you can see my face over here just above Dean and Tony. I was like, guys, that's cool. That's really awesome. This was, sorry, so I actually said 30,000, but I think 30,000 was also together with the people who are watching in some other platforms. 18,000 was at the Zoom call. Right, 18,000 people was inside the Zoom call. Plus it was streamed to Facebook and other stuff. But this is not even the coolest thing. Obviously it's like awesome, right? You feel so great that people started to see you. I didn't even know that they know that I exist. But people like Dean or Tony, right? Like who Mike is. A guy from Białystok, people don't even know how to spell, like how to pronounce the name of my city, right? Like, but okay, that's cool. But what's really nice is that Brandon was there for me, like I said, working on my mindset, and I finally felt like I do something that I like, right? And apart from the money that I started to earn, I actually wake up in the morning and I felt really good. I felt good about what I do. I felt like it matters to me what I do, and it matters to people that I help what I do, and it actually makes the environment around me better, right? 3 things from Tony as well. This is this framework for success, right? Make something that makes you feel good, makes people around you feel good, and makes the environment better. If you have that, you have an awesome life, right? No matter how much you earn or no matter who you are, you can be a garbage man and feel like that, right? So I felt like that by doing what I was doing. Right. So that was at the end of the day, like a little quote that I had from these 2 guys together. I combined the quotes that I had from Tony and from Jay Shetty, right? Tony talking about doing stuff with the end goal in mind, to be very purposeful in your life. And Jay Shetty says about the journey, right? Focusing on the journey instead of the end goal. Because it doesn't matter when you get to the end goal, that's just a point in time, right? But the journey took you a long time. So now what's more important, get to the goal or feeling good during the journey, right? And I feel like the both is important, right? Obviously you have to set the direction, and Athena was talking about it day 1, right? You need to know where you're going, and you need to know why you want to go there. Why is probably even more important than where. Right? But you have that why, but then you have to feel good about going there. If you don't, you're probably not going to make it, because you're going to get distracted, because it's going to be too hard or whatever, right? So at the end of the day, choose something that matters for you, no matter what, no matter if you earn or not earn, right? You got to like what you're doing. So now, guys, it's time. This is sort of like, that's the story, right? That's what happened to me throughout like this on the scale of these 2 years. I discovered these people, they helped me, they gave me the result, and I want to give you that in a just like the next 15 minutes. Are you good with that? I'm just gonna give you like step 1, step 2, step 3. Do this. You're gonna have. You should have the same thing that I have, right? Because it worked, and you've seen me being in the same position that you were, right? So first thing, I'm just gonna. You can either write it down or take a picture, right? The biggest lessons, just the summary. I was already talking about it from Russell Brunson. You have to use social media, or you can be used by it, right? And how do you do that? Just switch the gear. Stop being a consumer, start being a producer of social media. You do not go on social media to scroll and to read whatever. You go there with the end goal in mind already, knowing that you will have to put out your own stuff, right? And then the second part is what you know from my story is that being only entrepreneur is not enough to sell. You can have the best product, but people won't buy from you if you don't know how to attract them to your product, right? How to be that creative grandma from the Chinese market. Okay, so you have to either become a marketer or hire one. Okay, those are the lessons. Now the 3 steps. Okay, guys. So I told you that I'm going to ask you one more thing at the beginning. Before I show you these 3 steps that will change everything for you, this framework, I call this framework DUB. Who knows what DUB means? You heard it? You heard this framework before? DUB? Anybody? I know it's not your generation, guys.
I was gonna say,
my man.
my hand is just about to go up.
Who has children in the house should know what DUB means, right? All right, that's the move, guys. That's the move. This is DUB. You've seen that before? So that's what I wanted to ask you guys. I'm going to teach you how to DUB on social media, and that will give you the same results that I have, right? So if you can turn on your camera just for a second and DUB for me, so we're going to have this forever, right? Let's DUB. Come
Hey,
on,
John,
guys.
take a picture. I know you're taking a picture, John.
I'm using both
Awesome.
hands.
You're awesome, guys. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna DUB. All right, I'm having fun over here, but to be honest, I just always came up with some cool abbreviations so it stays in your head for a longer time, you know, because there's always, you know, a lot of steps that you have to do. But if you say like, you have to DUB, right? Okay, what is DUB? Right, so this is just 3 letters and they stands for 3 steps. So I'll show you the steps right now, okay? Step, is it working? There you go. That's what we're doing. We DUB, okay? D stands for define your first ideal client. That's the lesson from the big dogs, right? From my story. Define them, and we will go into details of these points in a second, right? I'm going to show you like really quickly. It's not going to take a lot of time. I'll show you how to do it. The second part is announce the result you can provide. And I want you to see what word I used over here. I said announce, because it doesn't have to be like very detailed at the beginning, because if you don't really have if you didn't have a single conversation with this ideal client that you chose, you can't possibly know what they want, right? So you're just announcing that this is what you could provide, but then once you're going to start talking to this person, it might change a little bit. Not completely. It's not like I'm going to tell you, okay, I'm going to heal you and then I'm going to sell you cucumbers, right? That's not how it works. But you know what I'm saying, right? You just have to fine tune it later. And then the B in our DUB stands for build your community on Facebook, because that community are the people who like you. And that's what I said that you need in order to start selling. Even though you're selling the same thing with a lot of other people, People buy from you because they like you, all right? So you have to figure out the way how they're gonna like me on Facebook, all right? So now let's dive a little bit deeper into each of these points. I'm gonna show you a really quick example. We're not having the full training over here because we don't have enough time for it. Nevertheless, I'm giving you the tools from the Big Dogs training, so you don't have to pay hundreds of dollars that I paid, right? You just have the tool and some examples, okay? I'll give you my examples. So this tool, this is actually a tool that I invented, but it's based on Dean's Graciosi tool. So Dean says you want to attract those who you want and repel those that you don't want, right? And in order to do that, you have to niche down, because otherwise you're gonna have all of like people from all different needs and wants, right? So how do you do that? Another abbreviation that will help you to remember the tool: ONION, right? ONION. Online niche is outstandingly narrow, right? Outstandingly narrow. That means let's try to define our ideal person 5 times, narrow down 5 times. So if I want to say one example over here, I'm working with entrepreneurs. I'm helping entrepreneurs. That's the general idea, right? And then let's narrow down 5 times. Who sell digital products, right? So I don't want to help all, just the one who have products that are not physical, not brick and mortar, not physical cucumbers. They actually have like courses, coaches and stuff like that, right? That's the first one. Second one, who wants to market their first program on Facebook, not on Twitter, not on YouTube, on Facebook, right? I only want the Facebook guys. Then I want the ones who wants to use organic marketing. That means no paid advertisement, just a free option on Facebook, right? And then I want the ones who are explorers, travelers, and expats like me, because it's going to be easier for me to talk to them because they are like me, right? So we have a lot of common language, common stories, right? They'll get me. And then finally, who are very impulsive and have ADD or ADHD. Yeah, this is true. I was diagnosed with ADD when I was in primary school, and I'm very impulsive. That's also why my name is Empolgado. That's in Portuguese means impulsive, and I have this name from my capoeira master because that's what he's seen in me, that I'm very, very impulsive person. And why this? Because these people think like me, and they're gonna have the same challenges like I had. They're going to be distracted, or they're going to be hyper focused. I actually have the hyper focus option, right? That I sometimes zoom in on one element for so long I can't see the world around me, right? So if I have this person who have all 5, that's the easiest person for me, right? The lowest hanging fruit. Awesome. I can help that person the best. Okay. But now let's go through actually another example, right? So I told you that when I was starting, we had courses for children. We started as a school teachers, right? We had something and we wanted to deliver the course for kids, right? So that was my first avatar, right? I want to sell course for kids, right? So let's narrow down 5 times. I want to sell course for kids, but because I'm traveling and I have an experience in international schools, I want to have the kids that are second language speakers or third culture, right? It's going to be easier. My course will be better for them, right? Not only that, but also my master is in early childhood education. So I'm just going to talk to children who are 3 to 6. I got better language, like better connection with these children, right? 3 to 6 only. And not only that, but my other degree, my background is civil engineering, believe it or not. So I'm an engineer and I really like maths problems and logical riddles and stuff, right? So I wanted to actually just focus on math and teach children how to learn math through play, right? That's going to be like, whew, okay, math through play. But not only that, but like first time for the fifth narrow, I said, you know what, let's just because there's so many different ways how we can play with math and so many different math concepts. So I'm just going to choose 6 math concepts, 6 basic concepts. It's called school readiness, right? And I will teach them through play with puzzles. Boom, that's my niche. That's my final niche, right? Sorry, I think something happened. There you go. So that was my course. I'm going to teach 3 to 6 years olds who are second or third culture children, who likes to play and learn basic math concepts through playing with puzzles. 3 to 6, playing with puzzles and be ready for the first grade, right? But not only that, my idea was I'm not just going to teach them the basic concept. I'm going to make them love math before they go to school, right? And that worked, right? That worked much better than just selling another course math, teaching 6 math skills, right? You can see this, right? All right, so we're going back. You use the Onion tool, guys, for your own thing. You can put it up in Athena's group later, right? Like, how did you niche down 5 times? Like that, right? Start from something and then niche down 5 times. Make it more specific. This is how you define your first idea client. I have to stress this. This is the first one. Then later you can do the second one and the third one and the 1999 one. You want to have the first 10 clients right now. There are definitely 10 families who wants this course because their child likes to play with puzzles and they want the child to be ready for school, right? Easy. Go for that. Take this 10 clients, and then later I can make another course for other children and other games and other play, right? So now we're back to DAB. Guys, we already know how to do the D. Now we're going to A. Announce the result you can provide. Another tool, guys, that I will show you over here is this. I know that this is Russell says that this is actually one of the most difficult things that people struggle with, defining that end result, okay? Because it's not really easy, especially that people just are very they're just announcing. They also don't know the ideal client yet, so it's just it makes it really, really difficult to come up with very specific thing, right? Nevertheless, we have to do it, because if we don't have this other anchor over here, if we don't know where we're going, where we're taking them, nothing is going to happen, right? You can't build a system over here. You can't build these steps if you don't know this, okay? So we have to make it clear. And there is a very easy tool that I use. It's called Smart Goal Tool. Okay, I think Athena is also using Smart Goals, right? So how do you make this result in the eyes of this framework, the SMART framework, right? I need to make my goal specific, right? I need to, which means it's got to be very clear what they're getting, okay? And what is the benefit of that, of the thing that I'm providing, right? And that's, for me, was 6 basic math skills, school readiness, and they will love math after this, before they go to school. That's specific enough, right? Okay, it has to be measurable, that result, which means I gotta have a way to show the progress. If I don't have it, how do they know that I provide anything, right? So how do I show people that I have, it is measurable? Because I can take your child, and before you hop on my course, we're going to do a pre-assessment. I can see where they at. I have some checkbox and whatever, or screening, whatever it's going to be, and then I'm going to do the summative assessment at the end of my course. So you can see what's the difference. Easy, right? Measurable. Then we're going to measure these 6 basic math skills over here. Now it has to be actionable also. So it's not just that I'm going to show them how to do this. I need to provide something that tangible, that they can do, right? That people can implement this thing. Okay, the children in this particular case. So there will be 6 activities with examples, and with lots of examples, because I wanted to, because as this was an online course, I couldn't just say to people, hey, you can, this is how you do it. And it's like one size fits all. It wouldn't work. At that time, we were still running a refugee center in Malaysia, and we had a lot of little children. So we just like took one child that was 3, one child that was 4, one child that was 5, one that was 6, and we're just testing different options and giving all these different examples, showing people, okay, if it's not about you forcing your child to do it in one specific way, it's about finding a way around it so they actually want to do it, right? And by showing different examples, we made it actionable, right? Now, realistic, it's all about tying it to something that they already know, right? If I come here and I start telling you how to create 6-figure business, if you've never been in business, that's going to be not realistic for you, right? That's why I need to know where you're at the beginning, so we can move on from that there to something that you don't know yet, right? And then finally, time bound, it's very important as well, because if I tell you, okay, I'm gonna find you show you how to find 10 clients online, and it's gonna take 10 years. You want it? Come on, right? In 10 years, that makes no sense, right? I'm gonna die in the middle. So obviously it has to put a time frame on it, right? Just so whatever the time is going to be, you have to put it over there. Okay, that's how you create a smart goal and set up this result that you can promise to your people. And that was my example. This is what we were providing, right? It's actually a cool thing over here, because Dion that you see here is in the room right now. She actually helped me with the bonus for this course that we were sort of like testing. Later on, things changed a little bit for us. We had to leave Malaysia. Nevertheless, she came up with an idea. Hey, how about we give people a free puzzle with their family picture, right? So they buy the course, they get the free puzzle with the family picture for like this, like an extra free thing, right? I'm like, awesome, cool idea, right? So we actually tried that too. But like I said, then we had to leave Malaysia, didn't have a connection to the kids anymore. So this maybe we might come back to this later on, but I moved on to other courses too. Nevertheless, we did sell these courses in Malaysia. Okay, so last bit, guys. I know we're going a little bit overboard over here, but I hope that it's helpful. I want to like provide the steps so you can actually do it, right? So you have the framework and you have the way, you have the tool that you can follow and do it, right? So last step over here, how do you build your community on Facebook? Now this is this part, you already started to talk about this with Cameron yesterday. There was a lot of questions about this, and that's why I actually modified this for you here. Cameron was showing his freedom framework. Remember, you're saying that this is like an easy one, right? This is even easier than the freedom. This is sort of like, this is sort of like the step 1 of the freedom framework, I would say, right? What do you need on Facebook in order to build the know, like, trust factor, to make sure that people like you and they want to buy from you? So these are actually just initially just 3 elements, and the 4th one that I will show you in a second. But this is like the basic of everything. This is your environment that you create where you are building these relationships, right? Online. Okay, so I will go ahead and show you my real example from my business that we're running at this very moment, right? It works like this. I optimize my Facebook profile, and the cool thing about it, guys, everybody who joined this challenge will get tutorial videos from me for free. Athena was telling you at the beginning of this. I will give you a video show how to optimize this for business, how to optimize this for business, how to create your Facebook event. These three things you will have done, right? And if you're sort of like committed to it, these videos plus the checklist should allow you to do it, right? Now, if you do want to ask some additional questions, you can always go back to Athena, right? I'm also, as you can see, running my community, my free community on Facebook, where we're talking about this constantly. right? So if you do have some extra questions, you can always ask. All right, but that's how it works, right? I have people here, I meet them, they start to know me, they go to my group if they like what I'm doing, they start to like me inside my group because I keep on touching them and talking to them on Messenger, right? Back and forth. I'm sending some videos, I'm sending some, I'm organizing some events, right? I'm organizing like hangout parties and all this. So they get to see me, they get to know me, they get to like me. Then eventually, if I have a product, I have a paid product that I want to sell, I organize an event, right? And I'm driving people, that we call it driving traffic, right, in marketing world, from these two places, from Facebook and from my group to my event, and my event becomes my conversion tool, my place when they actually start to trust me, because they spend enough time with me to see that I'm genuinely just sharing what I've learned and what I can get, and they see what I can provide. And if that's exactly what they want, they trust that I provide that result that they want, and they pay me here to get into my paid program that, by the way, I also have on Facebook. And this is how you start earning $5,000 on Facebook without having a freaking one-pet website, without paying a single dollar for big software companies, or without paying for like big automations that you don't need at this point. This is how you earn $5,000 on Facebook. That's what you need. Okay. So now I think you guys are good to dub right now. All right. If we have a like, I want you to like really put your feet in the water right away, which means, okay, we have 3 steps in the dub. You already know that for the 3rd step, I'm going to provide all the tutorials and the checklist, so you can do it later, because it's a little bit of time that is required to set it up. But the first 2 points, let's just have maybe 4 minutes. Can we do 4 minutes in the breakout rooms, guys? So you're going to talk with one other person, and you're going to answer each other these 2 questions, just like whatever pops into your head for now. Later you can fine tune it, but let's get into this lake right now. Okay, who is your ideal client? You're going to tell, for instance, entrepreneur, parent, or whatever, one word, and then you have to narrow it down 5 times. That's the job, right? So parent, who has a child 3 to 6, who wants this, who lives there, or whatever you pops into your head. It doesn't matter right now. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, just do it one time. It's the process that counts. And the second question that you answer, what you provide, right? So describe the result, possibly also go through these steps. Make it specific, which means like what exactly you're giving, what is the result as a feature, and the benefit for the ideal client, right? How they're going to measure it. Is it going to, how what actions they can do, how you're going to tie it to what they already know, right? Why is it good for this ideal client and not for some other people, in other words, right? And then finally, how long it's going to take, right? We got that? Like, before you go to the rooms, is it clear, guys, what we need to do in the room? I want to go back here. If you can type in the chat if it's clear enough. I'm going to go back to show you the framework one more time, just so you can see what we're doing. All right. I don't know why it's working so slow. Okay, well, I'm just going to get in over here and just see if you're good. Great, congratulations, Lisa. Oh, Lisa said something important. I'm going to read it later. Okay, yep. Okay, I think we're
already. Let me know when you want me to send them.
I think we're clear for now, guys. So you're going into the room. You got 4 minutes. That means each of you will speak for 2 minutes, 1 minute for each question. Who is your person that you would want to work with? you would feel good working with, and what is the result you're providing. We're using Onion framework and we're using Smart Goal framework, but when answering these two questions. Okay. Cool.
Let's
All
go
right.
to the room.
Aiden. So let's just organize the groups. If
That's
somebody,
it. You can go to the room.
yeah, if somebody won't be able to speak, they can always come back to the main room over here, and then we can just have one example. So let's just have a go, Athena, since we still have some people watching us on Facebook for sure.
Mhm.
If you could just give your example for this, right? Who is your person, and narrow down 5 times. I put you on a spot over here.
Oh, great. Thank God. I so appreciate this. How many times you gonna throw me off today? So 5 times, huh?
Yeah, but like I said, let's just make it a game, guys. It doesn't have to be perfect at the moment. It's just like you using the framework, and you're gonna use this framework many times. You're gonna definitely get better at it.
Mhm. So for me, it would be an expect living in the United States for at least 5 to 10 years. And they are women, mid 35 to 45.
Okay.
And they are in the midlife crisis.
Midlife crisis. All right.
They were manager before, and now
Are you
they're in.
suggesting something over here? Should we read between the lines?
And they were manager before, and they're in that corporate ceiling. They're looking for something better.
There you go. We got 5. Right. Cool. That's it. All right. And the second question now is, what do you want to provide?
What do I want to provide is the clarity, confident.
Well, okay, clarity. So let's
Yes.
make it specific.
Mhm.
What clarity? Clarity about what?
Clear about their career choices.
Clarity about career choices. And what's the benefit of that? Which
So they
means
can,
who they can become when they got clarity about career choices. That's how you make it, turn it into a benefit.
so that become so they can reach their potential of who they really are
And
instead of
how that will make them feel.
how they them feel. Yes, because
You
that
tell me
turned into the
how that will make them feel.
That's how they can feel the confidence, because they resonated who they really are. That's where their strength, their talent.
And that will be something they feel on a daily basis.
Yes.
Okay,
Instead
so you
of
got to
be somebody
specific.
they're
How are you
not.
going to make it measurable? How can you measure that?
So they will. So the first step would be getting the clarity, right?
But how do you
Um,
measure that? How do you know that you have clarity or don't?
so let's see. So this, well, for me, I started by creating my vision, like what I shared during the first day, is what the life I really want.
I put you on the spot over here.
Yeah, you totally put me on the spot.
but-
I was like, that's
yeah,
exactly how I got to go through.
because I thought that you're actually going to use your own framework that you shared that day one, right?
Yeah.
That's for me would be how you measure.
Yeah.
You will know exactly where you're going, and
Yeah.
you will know exactly why you're going there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
Right?
kind of what I was thinking, but I wasn't quite sure if that's what
Right.
you.
And it's cool. It's very easy to measure, because if I come to you and you ask me, so you do know exactly
Mhm.
where what you want to achieve, and the person is like, I don't know, maybe it's like, maybe this, maybe that. And do you know why would you possibly want this or that? No, a little bit. But after my thing, you will know exactly why you're going there and where
Yeah,
you're
that's
going.
why I
It's
was saying
measurable.
I would be going through that framework of what I share
Mm.
on day one. At least that's for me. I wasn't quite sure about your system, but that is, yeah, that is for me to go through that. That's for sure.
Yeah, like I'm not saying that this is good system and other system is not good. All systems can be good. It's just once it's measurable, then it's easy to share with somebody else. Okay, guys, I'm gonna ask you, because we were just going through what I put Athena on the spot, and she's actually doing the same exercise over here. And I wanted to ask you, did you have enough time to share, both of you?
Yes.
Not. Okay, so do you want to go back to the room one more time? Maybe extra 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe extra
Yeah.
2 to 4
yeah, I think
minutes.
that's a really good idea.
Awesome. So let's give Aiden, let's give them extra 4 minutes so they actually have a chance to share both sides, right? And I'm gonna keep drilling Athena.
I know. Guys, you keep working hard because I'm gonna go back to the room again.
Go, 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 go.
Awesome. Okay, so we're almost there, Athena, though, because we already went through 2 steps of the second question. So now with specific, it's measurable. What actions? How are you gonna make it actionable, this result?
How
John,
do
you
I?
can go back to the room, or you want to stay with us?
Oh, hold on, my son's drinking water.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You want to hang out with us?
That's right. Where's that monster truck? I need that monster truck.
Okay.
Won't leave Georgia alone.
Sorry. Okay.
No worries.
So what was the question again? Completely throw me
Okay,
off.
how are you gonna make it actionable?
So how do
This
I
is what-
make it actionable?
How, in other words,
Mhm.
how you will help them implement it?
So well, for me, it would be kind of tell them, basically go through the list of where they at. I usually, that's pretty much where the
Okay, you
starting.
don't have to like specifically step. So, okay, list. You have a checklist, for instance. That's like going through the checklist is already one action they can do. What other actions you can give them? What are the things? I know, for instance, from your group that you were offering a clarity session.
Yes.
It's like a Zoom call, right? Another action. You come to talk to me in Zoom call. It's an action, right? Okay, what other action can you offer?
What other option? Like what we're doing right now. We're doing the
What we're doing right
challenge with-
now. Like, I'm going to have an event, and then you can go through a nice challenge with the like-minded people, right?
That's right.
Another action. That's plenty of actions already, right? You have 3 cool actions that they can do. Cool. It's actionable, right? So now let's move on. The next one is how are you going to make it relevant, right, and realistic to where they at, right? Which other words, guys, this is what I wanted to tell you in my example. It's very easy for me to do it because as a teacher, I know that the first thing to make learning realistic to the student is making sure that you know where they at right now.
Yes.
Right? If you don't know where your student is right now, you have no clue if your thing is relevant, is realistic and relevant to that person or not. So how do you learn about your person, where they at?
Asking questions.
Right? So for instance, what's the one tool that you can plug into this result that will give you some clarity on who is this program for?
Come again?
Who is your program for? Who is perfectly suited for your thing? Like perfectly suited.
So they were pretty much
That's
like
all
me
the
4 or
information.
5 years ago. It would be the somebody that has this almost similar situation like me 4 or 5 years ago. Was a manager, is in mid-40s, and then also English as a second language. And they're looking for the career path that's meaningful instead of just another job.
Cool. And that's enough, guys. So this making it realistic, it's all about going back to the point 1 when we were describing our ideal client. It's literally that. If you speak English, at least like on this level, if you had some experience in managing, if you did this and this and that, now this is going to be perfect for you. But if your English is on like A level or whatever level, and you don't understand, it's like every second word in English, it's very hard for you to communicate. And you never had experience working in a manager position, it actually might be a little bit too much for you, you know, at this point. You won't be able to answer my questions. Make sense? Right, and then the last bit over here. Is
Welcome
the
back,
time, right?
guys.
How long is this take?
That's enough, enough. That's too much.
I'm chatting with you, Mina.
Yes, thank you.
All right,
Mika.
guys, we got you back over here. So let me know in the chat, maybe, so that we don't speak it all at the same time. Did everybody had a chance to share and just have a go in these two tools, Onion and SmartGoal? All right. Yep.
I
yep,
see.
yep,
Yes,
yep.
yes, yes.
And I will also
yes.
ask the opposite. Did anybody didn't share? So we know maybe Athena can just
I was
reach
gonna
out
give
to you
you,
later on and just
yeah.
give you some extra
Yes.
notch on this one. Have a go at these two tools, guys. This is like I was telling Athena. It's not about that I give you the tool and then okay, boom, done. You actually have to go through this tool a couple times to get better at this. That every time you do it, you're actually gonna do it better. And then you have like a better understanding of how this tool helps you, right?
Very good.
The Onion and the Goal and the SmartGoal.
I'll give you an onion later. Put me on the spot.
Yeah, you can totally go back to it because you didn't have a chance to see how Athena was struggling through it.
I know, jeez.
Oh, you don't have
But
that on recording? That's not fair.
it's on the recording, so you
It's
can go
totally on
back
the
Recording.
recording.
see her answers. She did very well. She did very well. It's just like, I know when you're put on the spot, sometimes it's just like a flow of information and you're starting
Yes.
to blab a lot of things that makes no sense, right? Or are just like too much. But like focus. All right, you got this, right? And for me, just like an extra one tip is always good to write it down, right? And you can challenge yourself to to write it down so it takes no longer than 1 page for both answers. 1 page A4, no more than that. That's going to be very clear, right? Because you can't use too many words. Okay, so you got these two, guys. And the last thing is building the community. Like I said, that bit, just like Cameron said yesterday, there is no magic button that you say, I do this, and then tomorrow you're gonna have it. You actually have to do it, right? But
Yes.
I gave you the tutorials for each step, for the profile, for the group, and for the event, right? How to do it, how to set it up, right? So you can set it up by just following step by step what I'm saying on these videos, right? You don't really require a lot of interactions over there. But if you, for instance, like have some issues with tag, which a lot of my clients, for instance, have, right?
Talking to me.
Right? Then we also actually have like other ways to help people implement, but it's going to be the same thing. Like, we're not doing more things. I gave you everything in these videos, right? I'm not like, when somebody joined my coaching, right? I'm not giving them more information. I'm giving them the same information. I'm just helping them implement it, right? Or even do it for them in some cases. Okay. So that's it. You're gonna have the videos. All of you who are here, thank you so much for joining us. I actually have a thank you. I think I had a thank you slide. Did I? I like Canva. This is, by the way, this whole thing is done in Canva, guys. If you like visuals, I'm very visual learner. So.
And
I see, Sunshine, you raised your hand.
yes, I want to ask you a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, guys. I'm definitely here for the questions too, but I just wanted to. Okay, I think I'm not gonna click through it anymore because my internet is. So I'm down to answer all the questions. Guys, I can stay a little bit longer. Just ask Athena, like, what's your plan over here? Because I also don't want to, like, overstep or anything. So let us know, Athena, if it's a good moment to have some questions, or maybe you want to finish first. Do you have anything?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wanted to share with you guys. Now you got your mini wins for those 3 days, right? I hope everybody that's been here for 3 days, did you learn a lot from this past 3 days? Just raise your hand. Good, good, good. So that's why I designed those career transition challenge in this manner, starting with you from setting the goals. So you got the clarity on setting the effective goals for your career plan. And now you get the business structure and the mistake not to make for 2022 from Cameron. And now you got the finale from Mike, know how to take that, what you learned and then to implement it online. So you got this general understanding how the whole thing works. So I also have just a little bit of a quick presentation to share to see if you guys can see. You guys can see? Aiden, give me thumbs up. Everybody, give me thumbs up. I can see. Okay, good. So basically, we all know if we're stuck in the learning mode, how do we keep that momentum, right? Because I know from my past experience, when I just continue doing the learning mode, I lost the momentum and I have to start back up. And that takes twice as the energy to get back where I was. So what do you think is the fastest way to get the results right now? Just keep learning or just do it? If you're like Mike, the impulsive, ADD, ADHD, you'll be doing right now, right? That's right. So we know a lot of time people's like, well, yeah, I have to keep learning. There's so much to learn. I still have so much I don't know. We get it. And then it was like, how can I just start doing it? I don't know much anything on social media. And that's why we are providing the next step to kind of help you get into that immersion. So now you take that basic understanding, you kind of know how that works, then you get an opportunity to launch your business online and you can progress it together with the coaches and the team together. But before I show you what we can offer to help you, I want to see show of hand if I have permission to share our offer. If you can raise your hand to let me see. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And then for those, I know not necessarily everyone have the business right at the moment or ready for it, but if you can just stay until the end, I promise it won't take too much time. It's about 15-20 minutes or so, just for those that are really need to have this part of it. And you can stay until the end because you might have the chance to win one of the amazing prizes. And I'm sure you probably want to know if you win, right? So that's kind of why I want to provide this part of it, so that way you know how to take what you learn in the 3 days challenge and how do you actually make it work. So from our past launch lab, we call it launch lab because it's really just the implementation lab. We take people from what they learn in the big program, the concept, and really just help them start doing it. Because you learn a lot faster by doing it, right? I know that's for me. But through that last launch, we noticed a lot of students are stuck and don't even know how to start a conversation with people. Like Georgia was struggling. You're asking a lot of questions. How do you have the real conversation? I get it. I was struggling too. It's like when things go online, when you think about the real conversation, you're thinking about face to face. I feel the same way. I was thinking about more face to face, but when everything moving to online, sometimes you don't even know if you have real conversation, if you're talking to a real human on the other side. So that's why we know we got to learn how to even like build that, that relationship, how to approach new prospect and how to invite the new leads to your group and how to engage with your leads and how to even convert them, your group, convert the leads to become your client. So this part alone, we provide 4 live sessions and it's valued at $3.99. And then we know once you start implementing, you will start having questions. And then that's why we provide additional 4 live sessions It's a personalized life group coaching. So it will be in the form like spotlight coaching, the small group role play. And we know, like Sunshine Deb, you have, you needed a tech coach. We get it. So that's why we will provide the technical and marketing Q&A to answer all the questions that you need for this particular area. And we even will provide the case study, so it will help you learn faster. I'm the person that really into the case study, so I can see, apple to apple instead of apple to orange. It couldn't really make sense to me. So this 4 live session alone is valued at $399. So those 2 contain the core elements of the Launch Lab. And we are limiting only 20 people in our Launch Lab because we want to be able to zoom in to every single one of you, because we know your program is unique. The way you want to present your offer is different than everybody else. So you want to have that coach that able to help you working side by side. So to limiting only 20 people will give us the opportunity to really spending the time with you. And that's why we designed it that way. And then and then also we know a lot of you, when you coming to when you come to Facebook, you only know how to use Facebook for fun, right? I know that's where I started. You don't really know how to use Facebook for business. And that's what we know for a lot of people when they first join Launch Lab. That's pretty much where they're at. So that's why Mike has created 9 tutorial videos to go through just for that. So you can start building your Facebook funnel to know how to start from networking group, messenger profile, your own groups, and then how did that all connected to the event? How did that all works, right?
Athena, I don't want to throw you off from your round. I just wanted to make sure, guys, because this is sort of like the 3rd step of the DAB, right? That I told you about. The difference is also here that here, if you have this, you also have a person helping you do it.
That's right. And he will be that engineer is going to help you.
We have a great person, Sally, right? She's not here yet, but she's like on it. And if you have extra questions, you go, I don't know how to do that one. I have a video, but I don't know how to do it. Can you help? And she's just like there for you, right? So that's the difference here of doing it together with somebody in opposite to just hear how to do it yourself, right?
Yeah, that's right. And then Mike selling this course alone for $399, but for for people that join the Launch Lab, they're able to get this part of the course for free. And you actually have a chance to study this part of the course before you even get on the live, so you can be ready for the live session, so what to dive in about and how to make it work, and then instead of still stuck in the learning mode. So that's the bonus that Mike's going to put in this part for free. And then so that is that contains 2 core elements of our Launch Lab and the Pressure Off course as a bonus for free for you guys. And then for the next session, the bonus, it will be coming from me, because we know from our last launch, a lot of people halfway through the process, they got overwhelmed, they got sidetracked, they lost the confidence, they lost focus. So we know that's why we designed those 2 additional live coaching sessions, is to help you gain your clarity back, to gain your confidence back. And sometimes it's just, even for people, is the technology part. They don't know the resources, who they can turn into and things like that. So we will provide the resources. And if you don't have certain resources, then we will help you become resourceful. When plan A doesn't work, we'll share with you what would be your plan B. And so this part alone is worth of $299. And then, as you guys know, 80% of success, it is coming from the mindset, and the 20% is a skill. So that is another additional bonuses that we will put it into the bonus to make sure you get the result. So that contains the overall of total value of the Launch Lab at $14.96. So that will give you, the two components will give you a clear understanding of a marketing launching structure on Facebook. And for your bonuses, you get to have total four coaches going to be coaching you side by side, and you can do it alone with the team. You are not going to be alone. So that's where the total value of $14.96 from the Launch Lab. But you are not going to pay this price because we are still in the process of building our brand. You know, like I said earlier, we did our first launch, and 80% of our students launched their first event online, the program, their services online. And that, when we say launch, it means when the event is where they have opportunity to meet their client, to have that face-to-face like you used to know, like in office, you get to have that genuine conversation, see your client. And that's what's happening in the online world right now. You get to see your client during the event. And then so 80% of our students able to do that. And some people were doing the real launch, and some people are still doing the beta launch. And we are currently, right now, as we speak, are running a Launch Lab, the second one, Launch Lab right now. And our goal for this launch, all of them are going to have the real launch to have ideal client that show up in their event. So that is our goal for our second launch. So because that's why we want to offer you this promotional price, this special price, because we're still building our brand. And I personally think $3.99, it's a steal. Do you know Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi with the framework, the package like this, you know how much it costs? $10,000. I don't know if you have that kind of $10,000 to spend, but well, it's not just that. I know they're great, but the thing is, when you spend that kind of money and you have this kind of group coaching, you still have to compete thousands of students to get attention, to get the question answer from Tony or Dean. To tell you the truth, I know if I really have the question I want to ask, and then for me to have that chance to get the question answered from Dean and Tony is slim to none. So that's why I like the small group. So I have the coach that will be working side by side with me that can cater to my needs. And that's why I personally chose a small group. I actually learned a lot faster. So, oh, did I miss something? Okay. So, and then we also know, a lot of time people will kind of like, well, I can't keep up with everybody else. And we know that can happen from launching the first Launch Lab. So we're not going to leave anybody behind. So that's why we have another coach, Aiden, is going to be helping you in this part of the process, because some of our students have a hard time to see the end goal. So Aiden will be able to help you break down your plan to a small, digestible step in checking your progress on a weekly basis. So we'll hold you accountable. And just remember, like what Mike was saying that earlier, using the SMART goal, and you will be using it, implemented during the Launch Lab. And then he will be providing 2 additional live sessions due just for that. And then Aiden is offered this part of his course, $3.99 with his students, and he is putting into Launch Lab as a bonus for free for whoever joined the Launch Lab. So that giving with the fast track bonus adding to the Launch Lab, that bring up a total value of a Launch Lab at $17.95. But you still pay $3.99. And so we know a lot of time people say, well, I don't know. I don't know if this is for me or if I'm ready for it. So I'm going to share this with you. We will be taking all the risk. So we call this part of the process called baby proof money back guarantee. Why baby proof money back guarantee? Is because we make this process so simple. Even the baby know there's nothing to lose here, because you either gonna get your result or you get your money back. So so I know a lot of people say, well, what about this? What about that? So the worst case scenario, we know a lot of people like to play worst case scenario, right? So I will tell you the worst case scenario. Say if you have implementing everything that we have teach you, and there's just for some reason that doesn't work, we will have opportunity to look at what you have done, and we will audit what you have done. And if we see there's some mistakes that can be fixed, then we just move you to the next launch lab for free, and we'll correct that mistakes. So you really have nothing to lose here. You either see the result or you get your money back. So if you are ready to learn by doing it, and you want to know how to join the Launch Lab, you can either message me, contact me, or you can reach out to Mike or Aiden. So there are the two also in the Launch Lab with me. So, and then we also know during this time, sometimes people might need some financial assistance. So that's why we also offer the payment options in case that is something that you need, because I truly believe money should not be the reason stop you from pursuing your dream, because your dream matters. So if you do need our help, just reach out to us. So we'll be there for you. Just let us know, because we only have 3 spots right now for the promotion price, just because we're launching the second launch lab. But by the time we are ready to do our next launch for, I think it was like March or April, we will be moving, so we'll be different price. It just for right now, I can only offer 3 spots, and this promotion is going to be until January 28th. So just let us know if that is something that you want us to help. Just reach out to us. We'll see how that will work for you. Okay. All right. So for the final part, do you guys want to know who win the prize?
Yes.
Make some
Yes.
noise. So as you guys know, for the amazing price Mike's gonna offer today, he is gonna help you build your Facebook funnel for free if you don't even have one. So that would be, we can start with the third prize, can we? Aiden, we have all the counts. I know it's a tough competition. You guys are turning your homework, you participate all out. I was like, Aiden, take care of this. I can't tell who wins this, win the prize, figure out the points. So
Okay, yeah,
Aiden,
well, it was really a tough competition because it was all were very close. So I thought we can do a kind of a lottery in a way, kind of a draw right here. And may the force be with you. Darth Vader is here with us.
so we start with third prize,
Love that.
Mike's prize.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So who is I'm putting the names right here. I wrote them on some notes. Put them here. So so the first one, what prize they will get, Athena?
We'll
The
start with
first one
Mike
that will
first.
draw.
Mike, build your brand like a pro. Who got it?
Woo! Some drum roll. Let's see. You see, no peeking, no peeking. Let's see who is there.
Just a reminder to everybody, guys, everybody is getting the tutorials for how to do it. But one person is also getting my individual help. And that
Yep,
is...
and we got Georgia. I don't know if you see it. Woo! We got Georgia
Nice.
there.
We can't see me, guys, but because my camera is not working.
Winner, chicken dinner.
All right, Georgia,
right.
we're gonna build your funnel then on Facebook.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Now come to
Cool.
second prize.
Are you
Cameron's
ready
prize.
for the second prize? Let's see what we got here. Sunshine Day.
Awesome. Congrats, Sunshine.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank
See
you.
Man.
Sunshine, you're
Are you
gonna have
ready
a
for
little
the
bit more of Cameron then.
Now
the
the
last
grand
one.
prize. Who get the free launch
so
lab? I'm
much.
really curious.
Who's getting the free launch lab? Let's see. I'm curious myself.
I am curious.
Excited. Are you
Boom, boom,
excited, guys?
Boom, 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 boom.
Maybe I will stick for a little bit
No,
with attention right
who
now.
got a lunch lab?
Dun, dun,
It is like I
dun.
have to go out with the dog.
Wow,
Joe, you won the
John
lunch
got
lab.
one.
Who? Pay
Oh,
attention.
check him
You
out.
won the lottery, John. You won the
Wow.
lottery, John.
Oh my goodness, brother.
That's great.
You can
Son
unmute
is
yourself,
Sorry,
Joe.
worse with us.
My son was talking to me.
Tell him he won the monster trunk because you won the
You
lottery.
won.
Oh, I did?
Athena, maybe go back to
You
the
just
main,
won.
to the main room so we can see John's face.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Wait, when is the lab gonna be at?
The lab?
Yeah,
You
when?
send you
Like,
to the lab? Oh, I'll tell you later. Just
Okay.
you know.
awesome.
But you won.
I wasn't even paying attention.
I know you should, right? That's usually what happens when people win the lottery. They're not paying attention.
Yeah. You see, the force were with you.
You can probably start pretty much as soon as possible because there are parts of the launch lab that are automated, right? Because the work still needs to be done. In case of being in the launch lab gives you extra people who will be helping you with it, right? Nevertheless, it requires interaction and your work as well. So that part you can start as soon as possible, but then the live sessions and everything, like actually walking people through this true conversations that Cameron was talking about yesterday, that is literally what happens in the launch lab. We tell you exactly how they run these true conversations on a different levels, right? When you meet the person, then when you're already a little bit of friends, and we like you already, and then when you want to sell them something, right? So that part is later, but the groundwork that can be done like tomorrow.
Oh, Nicole said we get guidance on everything we heard in the challenge, right?
Do you mean in the launch lab, Nicole?
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
meant in the
so
lab.
look guys, the DAP framework is pretty much what we're using in the launch lab, right? But the DAP framework it stops in a moment when you have the structure, right? But then I told you, okay, you have this community and then you have to give them your offer, right? So in the launch lab, we're actually extending that. It's not only that, there's a part of the launch lab. And also we're helping you to then talk to these people and offer.
And
them.
by the way, Nicole also joined just now. So we got Nicole here also in the launch lab.
Nicole,
Yeah, Nicole just joined.
That's cool.
awesome.
So we're gonna
That's
see each
great.
other more often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome to the family.
Yeah, so I think the quick question over here, yes, whatever was covered in the challenge is also covered in the launch lab in a bigger form, more like extent.
Yeah, if we want to dive in deeper, we'll be here all night. You guys need to bring your pajamas and all that. We're gonna have to just.
Or maybe for the whole week.
I
You'd
know,
be
right?
laughing hysterically right now.
We'll be spending the whole weekend with us. It's like if you let Mike start it, he will talk until you fall asleep. So you better just tell him to
I
like.
got that impression from Cameron too, and not in a bad way either of you guys. So come on now.
Okay, I think Mike's. You good?
Yeah, so guys, some of you are sending like private messages over here. Obviously, if you want to talk a little bit more about like have any specific questions about Launch Lab, we're okay to answer here, or you can also like talk to us individually afterwards, whatever works better for you, right? So I mentioned earlier as well that I'm here to answer all your questions regarding the framework that we covered today, DAP, right? But also if you have the questions, more questions about Launch Lab, then whatever works better for you. If it's okay for you to ask here, then ask here. We're good to answer, and if not, then let's just talk privately.
We are here for you guys.
Okay, so can I ask how the payment option works?
Aiden, you can
So,
take that one.
yeah. So basically you have one payment, like Katina said, it's $3.99. And then we have this 3 payments and 6 payments that splitting each other. If you want it more kind of how much is for 3 payments, that is 146 for each payment, and 6 payments, that's 73 for each
Okay.
payment.
Okay.
Like,
And
this is very important, guys, that you remember that it's just 3 spots in these prices at this point, because that price $3.99 is actually from our previous launch lab that is happening right now, and the next launch lab is actually not going to have the same price anymore, right? So this is like, we had to do it like that. Like, we wanted to make sure that we're giving you some super extra offer just because you spend so much time with us over here.
okay,
But,
so
you know,
if we decide, so where are we going to find the details how to sign in and how to do the payments and that? Where are any details about that?
You go
Yeah, we
straight
can
to
send-
Aiden.
Aiden.
You can
Aiden
send
is
me
our
what's your name?
Paygate.
Yeah, Aiden is the fake.
Paygate.
Okay, Aiden, can you send me some link or anything so I can?
Yeah, I can send you right now in direct messages. Will that work?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
So
Sending it
just to be clear on that, guys, Aiden said that Nicole is actually already in, right? So
Yep.
that means we only have 2 more spots, right? All right. I'm sorry that we can't do more right now like that, but you know, again, Athena was mentioning about it, that we take it seriously. We don't just want to fill in the like all the spots and then like, oh, like we can't deliver. That's why we need to make sure that, okay, we do it, but we do it right. We deliver the result, right?
And then
I see
has a
Nicole
hand
raise
up.
her hand here. You got a
Nicole?
question?
Yeah, I was just wondering, not to take up the conversation entirely about the launch
Lab?
program, if
Launch
there are
lab.
other things
Yeah.
to be talked about, but I'm wondering how many weeks is it?
Good question.
Question.
So
All
how
right,
many
so
weeks is
maybe
it?
I can take that one.
It's 8
So
weeks.
there, like I said, there are 2 stages of Launch Lab. Stage 1 is kind of like individual pace, and that's the stage when you're preparing the foundation, that you're preparing the Facebook funnel, right? There is 9 videos, 9 tutorials that are like sort of breaking it down, and then there is Sally in our team who is helping you do it once you're going through it, and then like you sort of watch something and then you reach to Sally and say, you know, Sally, can you check it, or did I did it right? So you have that foundation, and that can take, you know, depends. It's like some people are doing it within a week and some people take a month for it. You will have time until August, definitely, because next live sessions for Launch Lab will not start earlier than August. So that gives enough time. August, right? The next.
What? No,
August.
August.
Sorry,
No.
what am I saying? April.
No.
April. All right.
Remember,
I was gonna
he's
say,
not
I'm like,
all
wait a minute, my
together.
goodness.
I'm a second language speaker. I'm mixing the months all the time.
He's sick too. So.
Yeah.
It will
April,
be
April.
between April or May. Yeah, it will start
April,
between
right?
April
So we
and May.
have time until April to prepare our funnel. And then, you know, some people actually come in and they already have a funnel. So they don't need a lot of work with that, right? Maybe tweak it a little bit here and there. When I'm saying funnel, means that they have Facebook profile, they have Facebook group, maybe they already did some events in the past, right? That's what I'm talking about. So this is sort of like the individual pace, but then the actual Launch Lab with coaches and with live sessions and with us talking about true conversations and how to drive traffic, people through those elements, that's 8 sessions that goes for the 2 months, right? So it's a session
So basically once a week. Got it.
a once a week session, yes. Once a
Right.
week live session, and then we have for those who can't join the live session, then they have actually another chance to join it through a watch party with a person as well, with a live person as well. And then on top of that, we have a third session when we're just answering your questions throughout this week. Okay, so there's a lot of
Yeah, I was about to ask about that. Q&As are needed in those
Oh,
situations for
yes,
sure.
we know.
I figured that, but thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
for
All
sure.
right.
Awesome. So anybody have any questions about the Lunch Lab or anything for the challenge? We're good? Are you guys ready for a good
Right.
weekend?
Anybody else wanted to ask something about the DUB framework?
I had a question. I have actually two questions. When is this starting exactly? This course that you're talking about, when is that starting, the workshop?
The Launch Lab?
Yeah, when is that starting?
Yeah, so the live sessions starts in April, but in order to use the live session, you already have to have your funnel, which means, let's say, do you already have your group, your Facebook group? Or not? Like I can only tell you once I see your situation. If you're completely have zero, then I would give myself around a month to prepare it. Which means if we start going live in August, then you should start working on your stuff
On
August.
May.
at the beginning of March.
On May
He
or
missed
April.
summer.
Between May to April.
He really
Not
missed summer.
August.
Did I say August again?
Yeah.
You did.
Yes.
You did.
It's like I'm just like I'm sick, guys.
You're sick and
no,
what? It's
for real.
1 a.m. at your time, right? Here it's
It
2 a.m. my
actually
time.
is. It
Almost.
actually is.
Oh my
Mike,
gosh.
Yeah.
you said Facebook group, or do you mean Facebook page? Like a business page?
A group.
No. We are not using business page for this part because what we're teaching over here is organic marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And that means we're not paying for ads on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your page on Facebook is for paid advertisement, for paid business. And if you're not paying, your page is useless. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Plus, Facebook makes it very hard to market
I will talk
pages.
more about it. Sorry?
So when
I
you
was
say
just-
groups, do I need to create my own group and attract people there, or do I need to join other groups?
Yeah, you create your
question.
own group. This
Okay,
is
because I
sort of
already
like-
joined a lot of groups already. Like I don't know how many groups, 100.
Yeah,
maybe.
that the other groups are out. So I like this. I like this. So like break it down to like real life situations. So I'm calling it like this. Your Facebook profile is you walking on the street. You're meeting people in different places. I'm coming into China. I meet this person, that person. They start to like me, and then I want to sort of like build friendship. So I'm not going to stop people on the street and say, "Hey, talk to me for a while, dude. Let's build friendship." I have to invite them somewhere so we can talk a little bit more. So where do I invite them? To my house. Join for dinner. Come for dinner. Or come for whatever. My house on Facebook is my group. That's my house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I can get to invite people to my house so we can hang out, right? And now the last part of my organic Facebook funnel is the Facebook event, which is yet another thing, right? Another page on that Facebook gives you for free.
Mhm.
And this is you organizing a party in your house. Right? So now we've been walking on the street or on a shopping mall or wherever,
Mhm.
finding people there, then inviting them to my house, then inviting them for the party. And during the party, you get to break some cool news to them, and potentially start to work with people in a paid programs or whatever other thing you want to sell.
Okay.
Right?
So you mean as the admin of this organizing events, stuff like that, right? Okay.
So like I can show you actually one more time this picture over here, guys. See this? So this event over here is the key for everything for making doing business on Facebook. Everything happens to this event. This particular event is an example. We just created a 3-day challenge. It's a party for all of us. We hang out, we get to know each other, we get to build the trust and show you what we've been through. Now, if you think like you kind of like the same like us, you're in the same cart, and you want to like really do it with us, then you join our paid program. You're going to be in the launch lab with us, right? And now how did we do it? We drive traffic from both places, not just from one group, because I can have people who are in this group and I invite them for this event, but I can also invite people from my Facebook profile. Athena can invite from her Facebook profile. Aiden can invite to this event from his Facebook profile, and we can invite from all over the place to this event. Nevertheless, if I don't have my Facebook group, I'm all over the place. I don't know where I'm going and what I'm doing. So I need this group so I can have my first 10 ideal clients in this group before I set this event. And I know for sure that at least 1, 2, or 3 people from my group will join this event. Right? That's why you need the Facebook. That's why you need to have a house before you start organizing the parties. Make sense?
Yes, it does. It's just I can't see how I can, because I sell life insurance.
Mhm.
So my
Oh,
clients are,
good question.
how do I create a group for those kind of clients? You see what I mean?
All right. Well,
So my targets are, I use the acronym of MACHO, married, age over 25, they have children, homeowner, and then occupation. So how do I create a group for those clients and narrow them down?
Well, it comes down to what Cameron was saying yesterday. Remember, he was saying, what are you standing for and what are you standing against? You know, like if you answer yourself these 2 questions, because that's going to become a little bit clear who you want to talk to, right? Because this group, this Facebook group, it becomes a group of your online friends, of people that you hang out with and you like them. You also like them. They're not coming to this group only to buy stuff from you. They come to this group because they want to talk about the same things, because they stand for the same values, or they're uniting against the same enemy, right? So in this group, when you're setting up a group on Facebook, don't set it up because I want to sell insurance or because I want to sell whatever other thing, right? It doesn't matter. What matters is, who do you want to have in this group? What kind of person you want to talk to?
I get it. So they're more like ideal leads instead of clients, right?
Right?
Mhm.
And obviously you want to tie it with your business as well. So look, you don't want to say, okay, I'm selling insurance for families with children, but in my group, I want to talk to, I don't know, retired people who don't have children and whatever, right? It has to be like related to your ideal client as well. Nevertheless, you're niching down. Inside your Facebook group, you're not going to have all the people with children who could possibly buy your insurance, right? You will have only a certain like very specific type of these people that, by the way, beside that they can become your clients, they're also cool people that you want to hang out with and invite them for parties in your house.
I get it now. I get it.
Right?
Can I throw an
Because
example?
Sorry, I'm just going to finish this one. Remember what I said during the dub. People buy vegetables from the grandma, not because she has better vegetables, but because they like the grandma. Right? You only set up your group on Facebook so people can like you. And many times it happens that you have a person in this group that will never become your client, but because they like you, they know 10 people who will become your clients and they will send those people to you. Okay? That works like that as well.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Sometimes I know there's a lot of people probably have a lot more knowledge than I am, but they said, well, I don't care. The person might be smarter or have a lot of knowledge, but I don't like them. I like you, so I'll buy from you. So it really don't matter. It's just like what Mike said.
Actually, reading a book about that, starting with Why by Simon Sinek.
Simon Sinek.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
How
Yeah.
Apple products have their strong vision and why they have
Exactly.
clients keep coming back to
Exactly.
them regardless of how expensive it is. And you have these other products, they can like give them discounts and other stuff like that, but they don't have loyal customers. They only buy things from them when they have discounts.
Mhm.
With Apple, they have people that keeps coming back to them because of their
Perfect.
vision, their why.
This is my first mentor, Simon Sinek. I started to follow him in 2012.
Amazing. Yeah.
I like it.
Golden Circle by Simon Sinek. That's like the basic of the basic, right? So that's the idea exactly, John. You just have to like separate the thinking and break it down to the points. Me creating my Facebook organic funnel is not just to sell stuff. It's not that's why it's not a sales funnel. It's a marketing funnel, right? Which means, what do we do in marketing? We talk to people, we make friends, we make connections. Sell process is at the end of it, and it's just like a little piece at the end that actually happens more. Like if you're selling high ticket like Cameron, then that the sales process happens on Zoom. If you're selling lower ticket items, it can happen through a video. I can send you a sales video on Messenger, and that's going to be my sales process, right? Or we can organize an event like this. So we are selling, at this point, we're selling a mid-range product. I can sell it through an event, right? So people come in for my event, and then I can offer this to the whole room of people. That's the mid-range. But if I'm selling high ticket, I would actually want to ask you questions, see if it fits, see if you are the right qualified lead for it, and that requires, you know, back and forth conversation. So I can't do it in this form. Okay, Nicole, you have your hand up.
Yeah, and she had a question also.
I just wanted to say, and I typed it in the chat already, as an example, what I'm doing, as I've said, I'm a coach for survivors of emotional abuse who are where I was a few years ago. And my group is much bigger than that audience. I'm helping people who.
This is just me.
You got froze, Nicole.
We're losing Nicole.
Yeah. Nicole, are you still there?
I hear you.
Left the message. My focus is on emotional abuse survivals. The group has a large focus. The group has a large focus than my niche. Does that help? Okay, I'm trying to understand the questions. I'm currently.
Oh, she just shared, I think. She's sharing that with John.
Yeah, I think Nicole was trying to do was she's giving me an idea of that group that she created, because I asked you that the same question earlier.
All right.
And she's sharing that's her group that she have right now.
Cool. Yeah, totally. Like the group, this is not your sales group, right, per se. Like if you go back to this example over here, this last picture this is my business group, right? The Launch Lab here, I'm talking only business, only how to launch your program on Facebook, right? But this group, this is my community group. Build your brand on social media, and here I can talk about with all entrepreneurs who are thinking about starting their career online and want to build brand on social media and learn a little bit more about social media. And we're just geeking out. We're just talking about all different things. Doesn't have to be only what I'm selling, right? But because I got into marketing, like yesterday, Cameron was saying, not everybody is a great marketer. I was no marketer at all. I was an educator. But the moment I started to learn from Russell Brunson and Dean Graziosi and Gary Vaynerchuk, I said, man, I love this thing. I want to be a marketer, right? And now I'm working in the marketing agency. That's my day job, right? So I want to talk to other marketers or people who wants to become marketers, or at least entrepreneurs who need some extra, who wants to talk about it, you know, like whoever wants to talk about marketing, I'm your guy. I want to talk about marketing all day and night, right? That's my thing, right?
Oh, Sunshine, Deb has a question.
Yeah, Mike, I was just curious, that paid event that you have for the lab, is that like through Mastermind, or is that just you're just creating something?
You know what?
Through-
We used
Zoom?
to do it through Mastermind, but actually we wanted to show people the simplest version ever, and we want to eat our own medicine, which means I am showing you how to get your first clients on Facebook without having a single website, without paying for any ads, right? Without having a big following when you're starting, right? All this can be done on Facebook alone for free, because these four stages, Facebook gives you the tools for free. You don't pay for it, right?
And that's why we created the Launch Lab.
Now the
That's all,
difference
that's awesome.
the difference could be like later on, like Cameron was saying, yeah, right? Like later on, I can, instead of just leading people to my my paid group on Facebook, I can turn this into a nice website, right? And then you have this and that and all the beautiful things. I can, but it's not necessary right now, right? I'm not running a 6 or like a 7-figure business right now. So why would I try to kill the fly with a tank, right?
So that's
I'm
all
gonna-
done on Facebook. All of that.
Yes,
Wow.
you can run your coaching business on Facebook. You can run your courses on Facebook. That's why I said in my example of an onion, I was saying I want to work ideally with people who are selling digital products. I know how to help you better. Obviously, this strategy is going to work for everybody, to be honest. But that's what Russell does. Like he's like way more into this, and he can help dentists to open a group on or do this funnel and then attract clients to their office, right? So it works for all different things, but it just requires different puzzles, right? Now because I wanted to sell courses for children at the beginning, right, before I fall in love with marketing, right? So I wanted to talk to people who also want to sell online courses, right? Because that's what I was selling, right? And now I figured, okay, you know what? Like I still have those courses, and I like, working with children, but I like marketing more, and I just want to help people do marketing and talk to people and build relationships on social media, right? So so I shifted over here. But nevertheless, it's still the same thing. I still sell online products, right? And the cool thing about it, like yesterday, Cameron was saying, okay, so what is better? Should you sell like the high ticket item or the low ticket item? This thing works for doesn't matter if you're gonna plug in a high ticket at the end or a low ticket. Whatever you feel confident enough right now, you can use. If it's a high ticket, then do the high ticket, because it's obviously a better way, right? But if you're not confident for high ticket yet, then plug in whatever ticket, right?
Whatever to help build the confidence.
It's still going to be the same process, right? It's still going to be the same you're going to need the same elements.
Yeah.
And once the confidence is there, swap the offer.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
It's just going to be like, take this out, put this in.
Yeah.
That's going to be the thing, right?
Yep. Thank you.
Sorry, Mike. I think Nicole, this is actually the second time she asked the same question. Can we get help with the elements Mike has mentioned? I have a very small group, less than 10 people, and some are not responding. I'm in the development process.
Right. So there, obviously this is something that is that we're covering in the Launch Lab, right? But even in these tutorials, first step is, okay, set up the structure that will work for you, right? Because why people, for instance, like creating groups and then nothing happens is because there is no clarity on what is this group for. That's number one mistake when people creating groups, right? And then they're trying to send people to that group. Remember that there is like 1 million groups on Facebook right now, right? So if I am joining, just put yourself on the other side of this equation. If you are joining the group and you don't know exactly what is in this group and why you will be hanging out in this group, then even if you press yes because you don't want to, you know, like you've been talking with somebody and you don't want to make them feel bad, and you're going to say yes, but then you will never go to this group unless they will keep on nagging you, right? And then you will go. But in most cases, people need clarity. Why am I coming to your house? Are we having a dinner? Are we having a game night? Are we watching a movie? What's happening? Why am I here? Right? And if you're not giving them right from the gate, they will not, even if you give them the address of your house, they will never come. Right? That's the number one thing that you have to answer yourself. Okay, so if I'm opening my house to whoever, whatever kind of client, I want to know, like, what will we be doing when they come? Right? And then you have a bunch of options that you can choose from, bunch of tools, whether it's going to be live sessions or some trivia or some videos that you're popping up, like how-to videos, and they can always come here and then find a how-to video for whatever topic, right? Whether it's going to be some games, right? Maybe some quizzes, maybe some challenges. Maybe you have to come up with an idea why people should come and visit your house once in a while, right? And once you have that idea, it's easy for you to build your group. That's for once, because once you're reaching out to them, now you know exactly what's your goal. You want them to, for instance, come to your group and have a trivia night every Thursday, right? Something like that. And if you find the right person who likes trivia, they will be coming to your group, right? I know Lisa over here in the room. You are in like in a horse riding, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm an
Right.
equestrian coach. Yeah, and I have offers to people in the equestrian industry, people who want to get into horses more. I bridge the gap between
Right.
riding schools and horse ownership.
Right, like this is such an amazing topic to discuss, like horses in general, like, because obviously you can have your offer, your small offer at the end of it, right? Like horse or whatever that is. But when it comes to horses, like horse lovers, man, there's a lot of people that will be just eager to hop in and talk about, you know, this about horses. How do you feed? Can you have a horse in a city, or where's the
Yeah.
nearest place or something like that? And we have like a bunch of different topics around horses. And
Yes,
that brings,
it's very, very interesting because there's a lot on YouTube. And sorry, I have a sore tongue, so I can't talk properly. So I sound a bit weird because I'm talking like that. I don't normally talk like this. But like if you look at my subject, and one of the ways you can check a niche is to go on YouTube and put your niche into YouTube and see how many hits there are. So if you put like how to tack up a horse, there's like 500,000 hits on every video that covers that. So so yeah, and then at first when I saw that, I went, oh, there won't be any market for it because it's all free on YouTube. But actually it's not true. People would rather pay you for it because you can give them the advice that you're like you're doing for everyone here. So my group will allow them to use me as a coach and phone up. My offer will actually have the do-it-yourself, done with you, done for you aspect, so that if they really want to throw lots of money at me, I will fly anywhere in the country and do it all for them. Go buy them a horse, set up their yard, you know, buy all the kit for them, and just be there as like a consultant. But if they've only got $50, then that's fine. They can get the 10 tips, and then they can look at, with a little bit more money, they can look at the videos.
Now, see, what I wanted to so let's take this example, for instance, right? So if you can have clients, like you said, you could potentially fly into the person, set up the garden, buy the horse, do the whole bit. This is like a high ticket, really high ticket item, right? But it's going to require very different customer from the person who wants to just, you know, get a core $50 course about something that you do with the horse, right?
Yeah.
So now for you to start, like if I'm you and I'm starting, I wouldn't think about trying to cater to everybody right away from the gate,
Right.
because that will dilute the whole situation, and you will be like a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, and it's going to tend. You're building a car at this point, right? So I would say, okay, so let's choose, okay, whatever that's going to be. Like if you're following the idea of Cameron, right? So saying, you know, I actually feel comfortable about going and setting up the garden and doing and buying the horse and doing everything for a person.
Yeah.
Then why not focus on a high ticket item first, right? And then the thing is that you still have to build the group, right? You still have to build the trust. The difference will be that you'll be after people who can pay for your product.
Yeah.
You won't be after people who are, you know, just like having an interest in horses, and sometimes they're going for a horse ride here and there. You're gonna be after people who have ranch, who are businessmen, who have yachts and stuff and blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and they're into horses on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And that's actually in my real life. That's the sort of people I've worked with. I've worked with a lot of high net worth individuals and bought them horses for their kids and things like that. So, but I just want to do it in a more efficient way, and, you know, and kind of stack up the clients. And so, yeah, you're right. I probably should aim for the high net worth. I really don't know how to do that on Facebook though. I find that quite hard, how to get to those people, because it's not like I'm looking for golfers. I'm not necessarily even looking for people who are riding right now. I have to get them before they ride. So I can't go into riding groups because that's too, you know, so that's one of my problems right now, is trying to figure out how I'm going to get to those people.
Like, I tell you one story came to my head about building your funnel along actually serving your first clients, right? So if you're selling a high ticket item and it's actually like very limited, just like few clients, literally like Cameron was saying, maybe you're gonna just have 4 clients, but how do you run a group with 4 people in it? That thing, that's not a really good group, right? So you still need some value, like numbers inside your group, right? Even though your client is a high ticket, right? But I still need more people in my group. But a lot of these people, they just actually like to watch, right? So there's a lot of people who are selling high ticket and all they do is live TV. So it's sort of like, here's one of my clients and I'm buying a horse for him. And this is what I'm setting up. And then you're saying like one movie, 2 movie, 3 movie. And the people who are coming into your group, some of them, that's what I told John, right? Some of them will never be your client, right? But you need them still because they're bumping up your visibility. They're active inside your group, right? They're commenting, they're liking, they're inviting some other people who also like horses, right? And you need that so more people can see you on Facebook, right? Not everything, not every relationship needs to end up with a sell.
Yeah. Very good point. Very good point. Excellent. Yeah.
And
Brilliant.
we have a
Mike.
question. Yeah. And then we have a question from Nicole here.
For Georgia.
She writes, can we get help with the elements Mike mentioned? I have a very small group, less than 10 people, and some are not responding. I am in the development process.
That's what we read earlier.
Yes, I was talking about it here, right? Like, for instance, that example with Lisa that I gave. You want to have for your group to sort of be sustainable on Facebook. You want to have around 100 people, and then put it, like, you know, grow it later on to the bigger numbers. But the moment you have 100 people in your group, it's already, you can call it a group, right? Before that, it's sort of like a baby group. right? So you want to find a way to grow your group to 100, right? That's your number one goal on Facebook, right? And again, it doesn't mean that you have to have 100 potential buyers in this group. It just means that you need to have 100 people who wants to talk about the thing that you're talking about in your group, right? And hang out with you one way or another, because you're providing some there are 4 things that you can provide in the group, right? So that's how you grow. You either provide some education in this group without selling them, just provide some education and they're in the group because they want to learn about this stuff, or you provide entertainment in this group. They're joining because you're providing some stuff and they like to watch it. They like to watch, how do you brush the horse or whatever other thing, right? That your group is about. So entertainment, right? Or they're coming in because the information you're sharing are resonating with them and they're creating emotions, right? So for the emotional connection, right? And maybe they're looking for another person who is in a similar situation in life. They're looking for emotional connection. So that's the third way why the people want to join your group, right? And then the 4th E for your group is enemy, right? Uniting against common enemy. It's very popular as well right now, right? If you are have a very similar idea of what you're against, then you want to come into one group and rant about this thing, right? That's how it works, right? So if that's what you're doing in your group, and I also am against the same thing, right? Then perfect. I'm going to join the group and I'm going to be active in it, right? And that's sort of like a one step of the marketing bit that you want to create, regardless of what you're selling, right? But then some of these people, that you will zoom in on some of these people that are in your group that are your ideal client for the thing that you're selling at the moment, right? And by the way, going back to Lisa's example, she will start with maybe she will start with a high ticket, right? So she will only cater to 4% of people, or maybe 2% of the people that are potentially in her group. But then later, maybe 1 or 2 years later, when she already have, I don't know, 10 high ticket clients and she earned the money, then she can invest in some help and some automation tools, and she can create a course for the people who are already in her group, because now she swapped the avatar, right? So even though you can't serve all of them at the same time, it doesn't mean that you will never serve them in the future. Maybe later in the future, you sell something else, you swap your offer, adjust your offer, and then you're serving other people in your group, okay? You still need at least 100 people, right?
Mhm.
And then we have Georgia's hand up for quite a while. I
Yeah.
hope.
I don't know if I missed something. I just wanted to ask, what about Mastermind? Do you have the courses on Mastermind, or do you go just only through Facebook? Because I have courses. I have at the moment 2 courses on Mastermind. No sale.
Mhm.
One I stopped. It is in an active, so that's 3rd one. And because I'm creating at the moment, the one which I put in an active is actually a workshop, and I'm creating a course first, and then I want to put a workshop. But if I will have a free, I'm in different money range. So I will have to buy I think it is $99, which
Mhm.
without sale is a lot of money. So so that's why maybe you were talking about it. I'm sorry, I missed if you are Mastermind or not.
Okay, yeah, so I get the question. You know what? I had courses on Mastermind too. And my first courses were on Mastermind. I was working very closely with Dean and Tony. So the only difference is that this last element, instead of having your thing in the Facebook group, you direct people from the Facebook event to a Mastermind opt-in page.
Oh, okay.
That's the only difference. But if you're following Dean's teaching or Tony's teaching, mostly Dean in this case, right? Because it's his baby. The fact that you have a course on Mastermind doesn't mean that you don't have to build this. You still have to build this.
Yeah, I understand that.
Right? So it's only a little bit fancier course area or members area. Instead of having a Facebook group, you already have like a little bit more professional looking page, an open landing page, and then the course thing.
Okay.
But
I'm
other
not
than
very
that,
good. I'm not
there's
very
no-
good
no
with
difference.
technology. I have to say that I'm always fighting, stuff which I do in an hour. I spend another 2 hours fighting with the technology, and Steph is laughing because she has the
Sorry,
same
don't need
experience.
to laugh.
No,
No,
that's
totally know what you
fine.
meant.
I'm just you can laugh because it is simply the reality.
No,
So
I know
spend
it's
much more.
frustrating for a lot of
Georgia,
people.
but look, this is so common. This is
It is.
this is nothing new to me, because look, it's like the same thing like Cameron was saying yesterday, right? The simpler the better. So if I tell you that you can have your first 10 clients learning how to operate on Facebook alone, why would you, for God's sake, go and learn how to operate on Mastermind on top of that? Because you need to learn how to set up your course on Mastermind, how to set up your landing page on Mastermind, how to connect it with the Paygate, how to generate the link from there and start plugging it in Facebook, and then how to see how these people are joining your group and then communicate with them on the Mastermind platform. These are all the extra things you have to learn.
Oh yeah, that's cost me 5 months of my life.
Wow.
And I didn't get anywhere, I finally, when they put and published a course, there was like workshop with Antonio, who said exactly step by step, like for 5 years old children, how to do it. I was able to launch the first course because I wasn't able to figure out it myself, but it cost me 5 months of my time, and I didn't get, okay, I created my products, which are not selling, and I'm obviously not doing what you were saying exactly step by step. I'm not doing what I should have been doing, or I don't like to use the word should or shouldn't, what I could have been doing, okay? And I spent the time on the wrong, like what I learned yesterday, spending the time doing for the 80% which don't work for me, instead of spending the time and concentrating on the 20% which will work for me.
Right. Well, you're no different than I am, because I did the same mistake, but I was doing my stuff on ClickFunnels. So actually I was even paying more than you for this, because I thought like my monthly payment for the things that I bought to build my business was $1,000 a month.
You're crazy. I don't know why you would spend your money like that.
I did the same mistakes. When it comes to sales pages and courses and all that. I paid around also the $1,000 a month that I didn't have, by the way.
And this is
Time.
really that we are
Time.
spending money which we don't have. And we don't see the results, okay? I understand that you are starting somehow, but you are spending money and they are not results, okay? I'm not saying that I'm not proud of myself that I was able to create the courses. Of course, I did a lot of work during the 5 months, but obviously not the way, as you said, to make it simple, to simplify everything. And I'm very good at making stuff for me more complicated than it is.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all good at this. Making
Yeah,
stuff complicated. But
And
look, guys,
that's why in the Launch Lab we're going the simple thing. How much we can make it more and more simple, that it will be easy to do, simple steps. And we're a team here. So you mentioned about the technology. So we have also Sally, we have Athena, Mike, I'm a bit in the technology. So we all help each other, and the team itself helps a lot in the Launch Lab. So you're not alone.
Well, as you are saying, and the simple thing, I downloaded yesterday a new operation system for my Mac, and now my camera on Zoom doesn't work, and I don't know what to do with it. Simple things like that. I spent yesterday almost 2 hours to figure out how to do it, and it still doesn't work. And it is the things which, you know, you will tell me and it will be like 2 minutes process, but because we are new and we are learning, we don't know. That's the same with Facebook. I just learned last week that if I hashtag, it will go in different groups. I didn't have a clue it works like that. You know, so yeah, you are just what you prepared. It makes perfect sense to me, because you are really going to took our hand and walk us through.
Service.
We're just talking here, and I constantly have this feeling that people doing the same mistake over and over again, which I did, by the way, same like you, Georgia, right? So I was sort of like so much into being entrepreneur, and I was not even, because I didn't even know that I need to be marketer as well.
Yeah.
So I want to show you this. Right,
Okay.
this is sort of like marketing one-on-one basics stuff.
Mhm.
When you're developing a new product, right? So in this case, for instance, you have a course, right?
Yeah.
Let's just take somebody who I didn't talk about yet today. I can see that Victor is over here. Victor is also a client of mine, and he's developing an app for accountants. Okay, so it's going to be like your accounting in your phone, right? And so this is how it goes when it comes to entrepreneurship. You have an idea for a product or service, right? What happens next? You create and test it. Then once you have that, you need to give it to other people to test it, right?
Yeah,
And then
yeah, it's gonna be a while.
sell the ready product. So this is the process of everything is created the same. Your course will also go through these 4 stages, but and people think that this is all they need to do.
Nope.
That if I go through all these 4 stages, that's it. Then I have a ready amazing product and I'm ready to sell. It couldn't be more wrong. And in most cases, people only start thinking about marketing and doing whatever once they have this. And they stuck. They're getting stuck because creating a creating your own marketing plan and your customer base is also not one thing. It also has stages. And the thing is that you should move along these stages together with the stages of development of your product. Right? So now this is how it should be done. Once you have an idea for a product, right? You're creating a sort of like some framework around it. What it could be like, right? Then from this moment on, you have to start making friends that like this idea, right? You have nothing to sell at this point. You just have an idea, but I start making friends on Facebook profile, right? Then once you created something, you create like a first tested sort of a thing, right? And you run conversation back and forth with people just to have a better idea what you're creating, what they actually want and need, right? So in order to have these conversations, you have to create a Facebook group to have a better idea what they want, right? Otherwise, you're creating a product for yourself.
True.
Right? Which sometimes, you might be lucky and actually people still want it, but sometimes they actually want a little bit different thing, right? And these people who are hanging out in your group with you can give you a better idea what they want for. So let's say going to Victor's idea, okay, he has this, he started to test it, And now you have these people, for instance, young entrepreneurs, starting entrepreneurs who needs accounting, but they don't want to pay for the accountant. They want sort of like a, you know, cheap version of it, an automated thing. And they also don't have computers because his avatar is in Africa, right? He wants to like cover Nigeria and Africa. So they want like an easy version, easy accounting system that they can operate from the phone, right? Cool idea.
Guys,
So
I
now,
gotta go. I got to take my dog out. Good to see you guys.
awesome. Thank you so much, Aiden, for being here.
Thank you.
Right. So look how it's going to work over here. Now he can start talking with this starting entrepreneurs or small business owners about the problems that they have with the accounting, with taxes, with whatever, right? They can unite against common enemy, how difficult the government is doing it for us because, you know, we just want to make it things better, and they keep on adding stuff that we have to do, right? So that's a nice community. Now, the moment his app is ready and tested by his internal team, he can now give it to people to test it for him and get the feedback, right? So he can create an event, right? And give his beta product for free, okay? But not to everybody, just to people who are actually invested in this enough to join and spend some time with people, right? Same like we here. We didn't give our launch lab to whoever wants the discount for the launch lab for $3.99. You actually spend 3 days with us, right? Right. So that's why I was like, okay, you know, we want to like make sure that we appreciate your time, right? You get the price. That's not the price that people will get in other places, right? Same over here. So I know people are invested. They're going to give me good feedback. I can make my product a little bit better. In the moment it is better, I have a ready app to sell, right? So this is, let's say, a custom service group on Facebook for paying users of my app, right? Not only are you going to buy an app from me, but also I'm going to run this extra cool community of people who are using the app. And whenever you have questions or whatever, I can give you some extra information about that here, right? And that's how you develop a service or a product. Not just doing the product development alone and only then starting to do this other thing. It happens simultaneously. And you
It
can
does make
see
sense, yeah.
you can see how it responds to like this. This responds to this. This responds to this. This is for this, and this is for this, right? Like the moment I have the product ready, I already have a community. Now I can take people from this community and start selling to them. They already like me over here.
Mm. Yeah,
Right?
yeah, it absolutely makes sense. You know, it is. I very resonate with what you said at the start, that you just didn't like the Facebook. I was just completely overwhelmed. I joined another group which helped me just to get over this, which was I don't know, you probably know the lady Lucy Liu, which runs some visibility challenges, and. I just, after the first visibility challenge, I just have to close it down, my Facebook, like for a week, because I just couldn't simply, I wasn't able to, just the fact to be all the time online, to watch the comments, to watch other people's videos and that. And I was like, I can't do it. I simply can't do it. I don't want it, you know? And this is what you were saying at the start. Don't be driven by Facebook, but use the Facebook for yourself. And I was like sort of caught in that circle of have to do something, which I thought I was required, that it trapped me so much that I wasn't almost able to concentrate on what I need. And what you were saying, it is perfectly fine. It is exactly what happened to me, because I hated a Facebook. I was in the stage that I hated. So I was concentrating on the product, but putting the marketing on site, like maybe it will somehow sort it out itself, you know what? But it didn't, of course, it didn't.
Right. Well, look, I'm not gonna lie to you that, no, there's a super cool way that, you can just start using Facebook and you're never gonna be used by it. That would be perfect, right? But the truth is, I also spend my time on Facebook hours and hours searching like for the right solutions. And it's like this, that you're just getting better at this in time, and you're wasting less and less time, and you're making your actions more and more purposeful, and which saves you time. And eventually, once your business is actually already working, like at least 80% of these things that you do on Facebook, you can delegate to a VA, to a virtual assistant, right? which is like, in my head, it was always like, yes, I'm still waiting for this moment when this virtual assistant will come and do 80% of the stuff that they have to do on Facebook, right? So this is definitely like a path. It's not like you can skip it and you want, like, you just go into Facebook and you're just going to be like a horse. This is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. I'm not listening to anybody, because you actually need to listen to people to figure out if they are your clients or not. If it is an avatar or it's not an avatar, right? And it's going to be like, this one is, this one is, this one is not, this one is not, this one is not, this one is not, this one is, right? So it's still going to be, you have to like do it manually a couple times, or a couple hundreds probably. But keep that in mind, that the moment you're gonna like get this first 10 clients, right? And then the real conversations with them will make them your true fans. They will bring in new customers to you, right? It will grow exponentially after a while. This is what Cameron was covering yesterday, right? In today's market, in today's world, only 4% of people actually believe in the, like, paid marketing alone, right? Which means people who want the real connection with you, they need to have a real conversation. And at this point, unfortunately, you are the only horse that is pushing your wagon. But the moment you have some first people in your cart, right, and they're going with you and they like where they're going and they're enjoying the ride, all of a sudden they're screaming to, people on the left and people on the right, come and join the ride.
So
Right?
it is actually working the same as in like before we, how to say it? I don't know how to say it. Like now we do most of the stuff online, but like I have been in the teaching for more than a decade, and I have to say that on side of like my corporate clients, which I had through language school, 90% of my private clients were on recommendations. So that's what you are saying works with online business as well.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's not so different from a real life. It's not.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah. So,
Thank you very much for your time. You are just asking our question, and it looks like that's never ending story.
I told you guys, like, I'm a marketing freak. Like Cameron was telling yesterday, not everybody wants to become a genius marketer. I want. so that's something that I can talk all day long, really. But for some of you, it's just going to be like, okay, I don't want to be a marketing genius. I just want to know how to do it, understand how this works. But the moment I have my initial stuff, I actually want to delegate it to somebody. Right? And that's perfectly fine. You can do that too. That's why an agency like the one that I work for right now exists, because people don't want to do the marketing by themselves. They just go to the agency and the agency is doing it for them, right? So You can have that, and you can have just, you know, like a private freelance marketers who will learn what your offer is, and then just, you know, do the things for you. You will pay them 20% of your income, but you're still going to be happy because you only do what actually brings you pleasure. All right. I think I'm losing my voice, I think.
I know, it's like what, 5 o'clock over there in the morning for you?
Not yet. 1:39.
1:30. For me now it's what? Oh,
Yeah,
you're
we're the same time zone, I think.
oh, you're in the
Yes,
same time
the
zone.
same as Mike. It's late.
I know, you guys are crazy. See, Mike is like Tony Robbins. He just go, 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 go. And like by the time he's finished, it's probably the next day.
It's
Because that's how
excellent.
much you want to provide the value. So
Yes, thank you so much. It was amazing. 3 days, very great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you guys. Thank you so much for staying
Yeah,
here
thank you.
all this time. Thank you for dubbing with me.
Um,
let's
yes,
finish our
now I know.
challenge. Alrighty. Well, I'm sure we'll be answering some questions. Anybody have any questions, reach out to
So
us.
just a reply. We can find it on Facebook.
Yes, will be my group. Since we are live stream in my global self evolution group. It's actually still live streaming right now, actually. Yes. So there you will see the replays. So
You will
get to
definitely
see it.
need to cut it in smaller videos, Tina.
I know there's a lot of work for me to do, apparently.
So thank you
Alright.
so much. Thank you so much for everything, and
Yeah.
have a great time there, and good night to Mike, and see you next week.
That's right.
Thank you,
See you
guys. Really good
guys.
job.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And
Bye.
see you soon, guys. Take care. All the best.
Thank you.